that kind of
Oh,
science?
we get fun science here, real science. I'll have to tell you, we'll get on here. Hold on, let me get us going.
You are listening to UPRN, United Public Radio Network, coming to you live on 105.3 right up to 107.7 FM from the beautiful city of New Orleans. UPRNtalkradio.com.
Oh, well, guess, huh? UPRN guys, y'all ready, UPRN guys? You know, I like to do this now. I know I'm not supposed to do it this way, and my manager's going to get furious with me. The next little clip coming up, yes, we're going to introduce the clips on it, because these clips you hear are going to be with us for a while. The next ones you hear after this aren't. This is for Writers of the Future. Where's lovely book? Oh, there it is right here. Look at that. Look at that. I actually have a copy handy. Looky. That is what this next ad is for this book. It's also for several other books, but it's really mainly for this one right here. And since we have a lovely mixed audience tonight, we will use this commercial right here in a lovely British voice.
Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology from 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
All right, everybody. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. The Outer Realm in the category of Best Female Hosted Podcast. The Outer Realm is a very popular show hosted by Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, which boasts millions of listeners each week who are well known for and have been complimented on their very laid-back, roundtable style of interviewing. Together, this dynamic duo brings you the best of the best with guests from around the world who are well-versed within their respective fields of ufology, paranormal, esoteric, and other areas of high strangeness, and more. So go to podcastawards.com to nominate The Outer Realm in the category Best Female Hosted Podcast. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and do it now.
All right, everybody, it's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. Yes, it is that time of year again. There's a show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. UFO Undercover brings you some of the most revealing and current research that is being done with respect to alien abductions and contact. Host Joe Montaldo has been an abduction researcher for over 35 years and is uniquely qualified to bring you live interviews with some of the most well-known researchers in ufology. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and get out and vote now. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast in 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. For 4 years, the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast has provided advice and tips from international best-selling authors, world-class artists, contest judges and winners, and industry professionals based on the world-famous Writers of the Future contest created in 1983 by L. Ron Hubbard to help the aspiring writer and artist no matter their age. It is dedicated to the future of storytelling and art by showing that it is never too late to start, and those who make it are those who never give up. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast in any or all of the 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and go out and vote now.
Hey there. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. The News on the Flipside in the category of politics and news. News on the Flipside is a much different news and political program which is not deemed as opinion news. Listen as Joe Montaldo brings to you just the facts from trusted sources which will allow you, the people, to make up your own minds on the various stories being reported on. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate News on the Flipside in the category of politics and news. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and do it now.
Wow, that dude looks stoned, man. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all should go vote for him anyway. He looks stoned in that picture. No, he doesn't do those kinds of things. He just looks stoned. That's all. I don't know. That could be after like a liquid lunch or a late night bar con or something like that. Yeah, it could have been. Well, there's a lot of suit wearing going on when I got there. So yes. Anyway, tonight's guest is Jeffrey Weiner. I met Jeffrey about 2 years ago down in Los Angeles. Jeff is actually great. He's a lot of fun to chat with. He's an interesting character. Was down there now, Jeffrey. Now, why were you down there, man? You was a book winner, right? Didn't you win one of the?
Illustrator, yeah.
Oh, that's right, Illustrator. It was Illustrator. Why was I thinking? Right, because I seen you writing something. That's why. Okay, never mind. It's I had it stuck in my head. So what was it? First of what I know, Todd, and we're gonna get to this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm kind of skipping around here real quick because Jeff's been on with us before. But real quick, so I know I've seen you do artwork. I've seen your stuff on your website, which I'll bring up in a little while. It's what was it that said, okay, man, look, you know what? I can do whatever the hell I want art wise. Now he's got competition in his own family. We'll talk about that later in the show.
Yeah, so my story is real simple. Like, then COVID hit, and I had a bunch of business deals going on and different ventures and so on, and everything just fini kaput over, right? So sitting around staring at the ceiling, and my daughter comes in and says, why don't you just work on your art, Dad? You love your art, and there's not a whole lot going to happen in the next year or two.
That's not going to happen.
So yeah, so I just went out. I got in. Like it was, able to really focus on it and explore different ideas. And then Todd McCaffrey, Todd saw my stuff and he said, "Your stuff is great, man. You need to submit it." And I said, "There's no way I'm going to submit it. My stuff sucks."
I know this feeling sometimes. I'm not laughing at I am kind of, but you know what I mean.
I suck. There's no way I'm going to do that. He's like, "Your stuff is really good. You really need to submit it." And he said it enough times. I just said basically, well, if you feel that strongly about it, fuck it, I'll do it. Yeah, and then I won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know, well, first off, I mean, so there's some pretty serious artists we're talking about that he has to. The judges were some pretty serious artists, and I know most of the illustrators I'm quite friendly with nowadays. So it's kind of strange, but for you, I mean, you go down there because you're a little older, so you can feel you can be a little bit more secure of what you are. These younger guys sometimes are a little insecure. I'm not hating on you young guys. I like you, but sometimes you're a little bit more insecure. Jeff's been through life, so he kind of understands the way it works a little bit.
At least once or twice.
Yes, so sometimes no, I'm not, not really. I'm not picking on y'all. It's just when you get a little bit older, you see things a little bit different. It's just how it is. You'll understand one day. You little baby Z Jennings will be oldies too. So you'll get there.
We'll be long gone, man. We'll be long gone.
Yes, we'll be living on Mars somewhere like that. Elon will have taken us off and given us the shot and rejuvenated us and stuff. Yes, no, actually, that's it's been out now, 4 stories on it now. So they found a way to stop the telomeres from aging anymore, from shrinking anymore. So they can actually stop aging now. And they've done it in 5 different kind of animals now. So I don't, somebody said, would you take it? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Nobody wants to die, but it doesn't make you immortal. It just stops aging. So you won't get any older than you are, but other things can kill you. Let's just be honest about it. So it's not like it makes you immortal. And then, yes, I heard the one from the U.S. government about it can de-age you 20 years, but it would be extremely painful. Maybe. And so if we do that, are we going to stop like having sex by the billions on the planet? I mean, start having babies by the billions? Because, I mean, come on, if y'all stop aging and people are living to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 years old, you're going to have to stop having babies. Let's be honest about it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. No. This is that's going to be family. Oh, well, I got 800 kids and 2,800 grandbabies and 15,000 great grandbabies. No, I don't think that's going to work. So I don't know. But it is good news, and it is fun to talk about, and we do see it coming on. Well, no, definitely going to be talking about AI in a little bit. Well, there's lots of AIs these days. There's like the ones, that change your faces and make it into things. Yes, I got one posted of us. I had one of the lights. It's not out here, but I had one of the lightsabers the other day. So I popped it on, did a quick, thing. It's on TikTok somewhere. I have no idea it's on TikTok. Yeah, just type in. I think it's UFO Paranormal Radio on TikTok. Somehow we ended up with 3 TikTok pages. Don't ask. Don't ask. So no, it's a good question. So Carly wants to know: Do you use a crazy TikTok for anything? Why y'all on that tonight, aren't you? I'm going to stay out of that. But Jeff, do you use it for anything? Do you ever go on there? You scared them Chinese going to get you? I know, man.
Did you watch the Senate hearing? I tell you what, that was frightening.
Mm.
That was frightening. 150 million people a day. 150 million people a day use it, and I mean, the Senate hearing was It was just frightening.
It's outrageous. It's crazy, and that's just in this country. That's not worldwide. That's just here. Oh no, people! TikTok is everywhere. Yeah, that's just in here. He's talking about. He's not talking about anywhere else. Oh, you'd be surprised how many people in China use TikTok.
Yeah, but
other Asian worlds
censored. Theirs is a different system. There's
a distant system. Yeah,
big time censored, and in here there's no censorship. So the most extreme stuff is like the most entertaining. And then, so, that's kind of a vicious cycle, really. If you think about it, you get people that are doing crazy shit and or are way the hell out there, but they're very entertaining, and they get they get reach, they get exposure, and that's I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not going to go off the rails on that. But boy, that's a slippery slope.
Really. No, it is. Well, I was listening to one of the gaming companies the other day talking about give them 5 years, maybe 10 years, and you won't know if the person on TikTok is actually real or not.
No, so it's happening now. Look, they got if you go now, there's virtual influencers on Instagram.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that.
No, the virtual influencers to TikTok are right around the corner. It's right around the corner. It's really really close. I'm pretty close to this stuff. It's really, really, really close. You'll be seeing.
If it does that, it's going to end up getting banned in the U.S. Oh, people, don't start. You don't want TikTok banned. Look, I do agree that TikTok should never be on any government thing anywhere, ever. Come on, people. It's from China. And all China's companies are basically subsidiaries of the Communist Party. So you might as well just know. You don't. Yeah, I mean, if you want to give me your credit card, that's no foul, no harm, because you do that on all kind of other web places. But now Facebook wants an ID from me. So does Instagram. So does LinkedIn. I'm like, what? You can't even keep my email address confidential. You want me to give you a freaking ID? I'm like, come on.
There's another issue which has to do with reach. So if you're in contact with 150 million people a day and they're on for 15 or 20 minutes, and you can determine what they see because you can determine what the reach is of what kind of content, then you have a massive influence. You can influence entire populations. Like if you think stealing credit cards is one thing, you're talking about being able to sway entire populations of different points of view and or hold things back. If you watch the Senate hearing on what the DOJ and the White House did with the Twitter files, I mean, this is not conspiracy shit. This is like the real deal.
No, this is all this stuff is. It's just what are we going to do with it, and how are we going to direct this? The other day I heard. Let me see. It was Amazon. So it was Jeff Bezos and Amazon. It was Microsoft. It was Google, and somebody else said, "Oh no, we'll develop our own AI and we'll oversee it." No bullshit. We don't want y'all overseeing anything. Like I just said, you can't even keep my damn credit card safe, or my damn email safe. I mean, come on, no. We have to have oversight over these companies if they're going to have AI. Freaking the first question Google ever was asked said, "Well, the only way to make the world better is to get rid of the humans." I mean, yeah, I think we need oversight. That was. Well, no, Jimmy, it was an ignorant question. How can you save the world and make the world better? The AI simply answered, get rid of humans, which is the truth. If you want to save the planet, get rid of humans. He didn't ask, how can you save mankind? That was not the question he asked. But you see how easily the damn AI slipped that. And then we got the 3 accidents with the AIs where they told their handlers, the handler wanted them to do the mission a certain way. And the AI said, screw you, went and killed the handler and went and finished the mission. No. It was simulated. It didn't kill a real hamburger. No. I'm sorry. No, but it was simulated. But it just tells you already where we're at with this stuff. So I mean,
here's the deal. The deal with the regulation is it's not that as soon as like you initially think absolutely we need to have regulation because we want to make sure it's not biased. And
yes,
so
I
as
agree.
people are going to look at it, are going to ask it questions, it's going to be smarter than just about most everyone. And people are going to go, well, I guess that's true, But if it has a built-in bias toward, liberal or non-liberal or whatever the hell it might be, then but the issue is once it flips into the political realm, then it's all hell breaks loose, because now what you're saying by definition is that you need to be able to have some level of censorship or some level of control. If you put in some level of control into the AI companies, then now you're opening up the door to certain kinds of people that want to put a lot more in, like a lot more controls. It's not, you know what I'm saying? That you crack the door open and say, yeah, we need controls, but then there are the extremists that'll say we need reach way down into controls. Government needs to be able to.
It's going to be a hard medium to find what's acceptable, because we want the AI to grow and we want it to be useful for us, but we don't want it to be dangerous for us. And we want it to be, and as you can see, and as we're going to be talking about some other stuff later in the show, AI is useful in a lot of ways, people, these days. I mean, it's everywhere. It's and you might as well get used to it. It's already seeping into everybody's life, and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
So this is something you might as well get prepared for. It's something you're going to see a lot of times now when you make calls to places, you're not getting real people, you're getting AI. And I always tell the AI, why don't you go F yourself? I do. I said I want a real person, or I want an American, but go F. Oh no, they almost always give me somebody from America, or they hang up one or the other. It's just,
you want to hear something that's funny? That they've outsourced and they've outsourced and dumbed down a lot of the tech support to the point where it's so frustrating. Like you get someone on the phone, you're like, you just know you're going to be totally frustrated that an AI actually can do a better job.
Yeah, he's going to be doing a lot of better jobs and a lot of damn different things. It's just, will it become too egotistical? Will it grow beyond, it's going to grow no matter what. At this point, see, we've been teaching it. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all don't remember like the little ants that used to go box in Japan and stuff, but we started teaching it to teach itself. And there's lots of reasons why, especially when we start using these little robots to go inside of people's bodies to fix stuff. We're going to need this AI to be able to determine some things, because it'll be fast and then, have to do it the old way. But it's all I can tell you is we're going to have to keep an eye on it and make it part of our life. I'm not so much worried about it. I only got like 50 years left on the planet. So the rest of you poor bastards, that's got a couple 100 years ahead of y'all. I'm just,
and the other thing is that we're, somehow we take on this moral leadership role of regulating and making sure it doesn't get out of control. And somehow, we just think we're in our own little bubble, because I guarantee you there's no one else on the planet. That there are certain governments on the planet that are not going to play by the same rules. They're going to go after this with vicious, and China, for example, they're going to go after this, but they're not going to put any regulations on it. So there's a good strong argument. Like, look, we're, we want to be the good guys here and kind of, put ourselves in handcuffs with regards to morality and influencing last masses of people. But you have other governments that just don't give a shit about that, and they're going to go at it full bore. And so there's another argument like, look, if we do that stuff, we're just putting ourselves behind the 8 ball, because these guys are going to come up with stuff that's better. They're going to come up with an AI that's better, smarter, or somehow put us in a compromising position.
Yeah, well, I remember when I can't remember his name right offhand, when the guy who first figured out how to put drones together and fly them in mass. And this is a while back. A lot of people think this only happened a few years ago. It's going back about almost 20 years. But he had started getting them where he could fly, 5 together, 10 together, 20 together, 30 together. One of the things he was saying, he said, wait till I have real AI that I can use to direct us. He said, wait till the things you can see that I can make. This guy's making dragons in the sky. He's making UFOs. He's making stuff, especially when they use that hologram up against it. It looks almost real. It's freaky, actually, kind of. And
You're talking about those 1,500 drones that go up and move.
Oh yeah, well they've got those, but they've got even more advanced ones now. But now they got a set they use. The first time I seen it, it was somewhere in Hong Kong. It's made from American company, so they'll put up like that Dragon, or they'll put up something. But now they can actually lay a hologram over the drones.
Really?
So the hologram will even give with the drones as the drones move. So even though the drones, so it makes it come alive like you would freaking believe. Yeah. Well, that's people all keep saying it's Project Bluebeam. Well, we'll find out, won't we, people, if it's true or not. So if little drones start shooting at me, I'm going to get the shotgun out or the rifle or one of the pistols and say, come here, drone.
Give me a break. You heard of Boston Dynamics? Yeah. And they make the dog, or that, the yellow dog everybody uses. And they said, we're not going to let that get used for military purposes or policing purposes. So they won't sell it They won't sell it to anybody to put guns on it. So the Chinese made them. So now you can buy one from China at a lower cost, and you can put guns on it and can roll.
But the problem is, if it's made in China, it's going to fall apart. It's China's got the worst luck. I don't know. It's a combination of things. One, China's still so corrupt that so much money gets taken away from projects, so stuff gets cut. And two, they seem to have some bad luck sometimes. They got 2 aircraft carriers. Neither one's is just a piece of junk. It's a big laughing thing in the U.S. Navy. They're like, what are you going to do with these things? They'd be sunk before they got out of ports. And it's just kind of funny. And one of them they built, guys and girls. One of them they bought from the Russians, which I know no idea why they bought something from the Russians. And the other one,
they got a good deal.
The Russians also sold. I think they sold a carrier to India as well. Well, the Russians needed the money there for a while. They would, and they had a big navy, so they were just selling stuff off. Yeah, they've got 1 carrier left, I think. Yes, and no, it doesn't have AI before you ask, but it has some serious weaponry on board. But it just never can stay. It's always broke down. What was it, Billy Ray? Well, yeah, AI is going to be gaming in the future. It's going to be a combination of full-blown AI with full-grain holography. And it's going to be a whole different experience. It's a whole different experience from when I started gaming playing Pong. You remember Pong? You want to know the very first video game I ever played was in DOS. It was a monkey game where it had a little ape that ran up and down and it had a banana in it. It was in DOS. It's the only place. And I know a lot of y'all don't know what the hell DOS is, but for the people out there that know what DOS is, you know what I'm talking about. And then after that, I got a Commodore 64, and I had all kind of interesting stuff. And today it's, the only thing I noticed today is gaming, the overall game itself hasn't changed. The video's great. The game, the illustrations are fabulous. The audio's great. Man, the overall gameplay is still kind of just a video game. This is going to revolutionize that. Man, Jeff, that's what you ought to do. You ought to get some company to come out to Vegas, man, and start changing the way people do their video games. Because I've heard both Sony and Microsoft talk about this, but I have not seen anybody really take the challenge. I mean, they got the big headgear you can wear and all and be like running into shit in your house and stuff, but there's better ways of doing this. And I'm just thinking, if you had something that was controlling the experience at a faster pace, or could even, after you've played a couple of times, really anticipate what you're going to be doing, it'd make for a much funner game. More frustrating too.
I can tell you that without a doubt, it may be coming from I'm sure having a smart AI player or an adaptive system is, if it's already, someone's already got it and they're going to bring it out pretty quick, right? But what's coming up is basically the tool set to be able to, for a storyteller, to be able to turn their work into a graphic novel, turn their work into games, turn their work into trailers. The trailer now they're out. The text to video is, in the last 8 weeks, is just it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling how good the text to video is. Like it's trailer quality. So you're not going to. It's not going to take that much longer before, if someone takes a series of clips and puts them together and you start being able to make your own movie out of your own story. That's just not that far away. Like the technology's there to do it in a crude way now, even though it looks amazing. So it's not that far away. So there's a reasonable shot that in a short period of time, you'll be able to you'll come up with an idea and you'll put it into the machine, and the machine will come up with different ideas and take you as a character, put it in there and turn it into a movie. Not that far away.
I know. I'm just, I was talking with one of my science geeky friends the other day. Every now and then we just geek out. We have a show called Science and Beyond, so sometimes we just geek out in science. And I've had some pretty big scientists on the show over the years, but it's there's a lot of hesitation to all of this for some reason. I understand for people who are authors and people who are illustrators, I can understand their hesitation. But there's other hesitation I really just doesn't quite feel right. I know it's the next new thing, so we hesitate a little bit before all things. But this feels a little different. This feels like, because I was talking with some Z-Genners the other day, and they're like, man, all these movies, remember y'all, and I love this. We were doing this little thing, these little Z-Genners, you damn baby boomers, and you actually just got to remember all those movies you made about AIs. Remember, AI took over the world every time and killed everybody. I'm thinking, that's true. It is true. But I don't think we're going to give the nuclear codes to AI. I just don't think that's what I think.
I think that what comes out of it now is all the headlines about it reducing the workforce, and that scares.
Yeah, that's well, we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that because truly sooner or later, and we're moving in this direction. You're just going to have people that are just going to sit at home and do what? Watch TV, play video, go out to the park maybe if you're really lucky. I mean, what are y'all going to do for life? And to me, it's not.
It's displacing people now. It's displacing people now. You don't. You really don't need a copywriter anymore, and you really you don't need someone to write your content for you. So bloggers and content creators and you can then take. So you don't need those people anymore. All you need is a subject or a couple of reference sites, and you direct the AI to do it, and it writes it for you. So. That's like a right now happening change. You're going to increase. If someone was really focusing on that, you could crank out. You create 100 fucking articles a day. It's not, and they're all good. Believe me, they're good at, and not that they shouldn't. I'm not advocating people losing their jobs. I'm just saying that there is displacement now, like really a big time displacement that. With regards to that particular industry, and so people get scared. It's scary. Like they're gonna, machines are gonna come and take my job away.
Well, that too, and there's going to be so much more material now. It's going to be hard for anybody to get anything to see anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point. There's going to be so much content. It's going to be even more noisy, which means if you have an audience, you're even more valuable.
Janine, what are you talking about? Oh, no. Writers of the Future doesn't allow any AI stuff at all. No.
But here's the deal on Writers of the Future, and I talked with John. There's at a certain point in time, you can't tell. And also you can use an AI tool to assist you in writing.
Yes.
Like there's a thing called pseudo writer, which it'll help you brainstorm and come up with all kinds of stuff to add to your story. Not that you didn't have the original story, not that you didn't outline the original story, but as far as embellishing characters, embellishing scenes, just being a proactive contributor to the right story writing, that's here right now. There's no way, as a practical matter, to be able to sift through what's written and not written to know if AI played a part in it. There's just no way. There's no way. There's no leftover.
You're gonna have to have AI to find out if AI was in it. I'm
serious. I got one of those. I can tell you a story about that, but go ahead.
No, well, I'm just thinking somebody we were talking about a couple of days ago, and somebody's like, we'll have to have AI to find out if AI was in it. Well, guys, there's some things like for artists, there's usually going to be a progression in their art. So that's not going to be as easy. They'll be able, so places that aren't going to allow AI art, they'll have a little bit easier time with it. But a book, that's not necessarily true. You might just write the book and then go back and edit it. But so that means any AI could write it. Nobody's going to ever know the difference. There's no real way to go in there and say this book was written by AI. AI does make mistakes. Oh, no, don't get me wrong. We've seen it do some stupid stuff in some books, and we've seen it do some dumb pictures, but for the most part, it doesn't. And the more materials, good.
Yeah, so like the writing process, the AI for writers now that want to put a lot of volume out, you use an AI. You take all of your writing that you've done, all your stories, and you train the AI on it. So now the AI writes in your style. It replicates your style. And so when you want to write a book, you just outline every chapter. You outline what happens in every chapter, and then feed it in, and then ask the AI to write it in your voice, and it will. So your output can be you can increase your output like massively increase your output because you don't need a copy editor. You know.
Yeah, no, you don't really need a copy editor. That's shit.
Then you're fucking done. Like, I'm done. Okay, right on.
He's right. You're not going to need a copy. You're not going to need a lot of things, really. Well, because it's going to correct itself as it goes. It's and it's always good to overread anything, but it's grammar. Everything's going to be pretty much correct, so you're not going to have to worry about all of that. What is that? Where are you from? Garrison? Where are you from? Oh, Gettysburg. Yeah, I've been to Gettysburg. I know it's not Gettysburg. No, I've been there. I gave some lectures down there at one of the X conferences. Yeah, actually, at two of the X conferences. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what you got? So what program you're using? So okay, all right. You don't have to tell me the name of it. That's cool. There's lots of them out there now. A couple of years, a year ago, it was like one, or maybe 2 years ago, it was like one. So what's your story? How much? Oh, that's pretty good, girl. So she was playing with this thing, trying to get it right. And she said, it just didn't feel right. And she said, I know it's going to be all the information or the way I'm putting the information in. So she sat down, straightened out the information, added a few more things in that she thought would be relevant. It put out 550 page book. Well, that's a novel. That's not a damn book.
That's more than a novel.
Yeah, no, it's anyway. So wait, how did you get it to write? Because usually when I see it write, it's like 200 pages. Sometimes I don't even see that. Sometimes I see 25 pages. I guess it's dependent on how did you get it to go that far? I've never heard anybody getting one to go that far. That's all. I'm curious. So wait, you just kept feeding it?
Chapter.
Is it like the dragon? You just kept feeding the damn thing? Look. I'm ignorant when it comes to this. Why bring Jeff on? Jeff knows far more about this than I do. Well, I know a lot about AI, but not this. So anyway, what's the moral of this story, please? I'm just curious to what the moral of the story is. Really? Well, praise you, baby. You know that she made $35,000 in sales in the book so far.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
She said the only thing is she's pretty sure it's not copyrightable. It's your book. You can say you put it out. So you got to remember something about copyright. Copyright's a great thing, but you don't always necessarily have it. If you can show from start, if you can show how it started, where it is, and how it came to be, and how it came out of your creation, you pretty much prove copyright. So, yes, it's weird. I'm sorry, guys. Some things you're not going to be able to copyright. Don't worry. They'll get to where they'll have copyrighted AI. I heard Google.
There's the pragmatic piece to this, right? Someone says, if she sells all her books, then someone comes up and picks up the rights and they want to make a movie out of it and so on. There's like very little motivation to reveal how it was done because all it does is compromise your ability to make money. So why the hell? Like there seems to be a pretty good argument, at least at my end of the world, that everybody's using it. No one wants to talk about it.
And that's you know what? Unfortunately, that is probably true.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Oh, Jimmy, you can't expect all humans to just be honest. I'm sorry. I wish we lived in that Star Trek world you're thinking about. We don't. I don't see. It's difficult for me because as knowing so many authors and knowing so many illustrators, I want to make sure that they keep making money. But I also want to see fresh new material being entered because at my age, I have noticed that most stuff is just repeats of repeats of repeats. Just remade, but we'll change the name. We'll change it. But it's not. It's really just. I haven't seen anything original, and I couldn't even freaking tell you. Avatar. The first Avatar was good, but it still wasn't original. It's still just a base story. I'll leave it at that. I mean, the stories you watch, and especially when you get into like DC and Marvel, these are stories that you have probably seen one way or another served up 100 times.
Hey, I think here's a positive way of looking at it. If you have all these systems that can just crank out stories like taking formats like the hero's journey, right, or some standard format of writing, then you're going to have a lot of very vanilla stuff, and then you're going to come, and then someone that really has a crazy visionary idea, who really is exceptional, and may use AI to help, or may not, may use AI to help, or may use AI to edit, but still the fundamentals of the story have to come from the creative. So the value of the creative is going to increase. Like if you have something super creative, you'll be more valuable, because everybody's going to be able to put out crap. Just like when graphic artists first came into being, right? There was graphic artists, and all of a sudden everybody was a graphic artist because you had Adobe Illustrated. And then once you started working with Adobe Illustrated, you realized, there's a lot of crap, and you have to try to sift out to find out what's really great.
Yeah, so, there is too.
A lot of garbage. Like you want to go on Fiverr, you can see people that arguably call themselves a graphic artist, and God bless them if they can make a sale. That's great. But there's a big difference. And I'm not being a dick. I'm just saying there's a big difference between cranking something out and someone who really has an inherent artistic ability that can produce something that's exceptional. And whereas the tool set is just a tool. It's a skill set. It's a AI. It's a fucking Adobe Illustrator. It's just a tool.
Well, it is just, and actually we use Adobe for a couple of different things, for inverts and stuff like that. So when we get weird pictures that come in and things, it comes in handy for some stuff. But there's a couple of features in there. But there's a lot of garbage in it, and a lot of people. Everybody's different. I know. So we'll ask Jeff this right now. But when I'm talking to all these different illustrators, a lot of times I ask them, what's your favorite? Is Adobe your favorite? Do you like to still use paper? Do you like to draw on something else? What's your favorite? What is your favorite way to create? So now, is it going to be AI now, or is it going to be something?
For me personally?
Yeah, for you. We don't care about the rest of these people. We don't care about the rest of these people.
I think that it's time. I think if you don't embrace everything that's coming as fast as it's coming, then you're kind of sticking your head in the sand. And I'm going to embrace everything as fast as I can, as fast as it comes out. It doesn't mean without fear. So if I want to approach an AI, let's say I did a book cover. I've like a ton of book covers and books and so on, right? And the last couple of covers, or on one particular series, I pulled a bunch of images out of Midjourney, which is just really nice. I've done like 25,000 images in Midjourney, which is an AI, which is text to image. Now the images don't come out the way I want, but the AI can get me about 70% of the assets I need, and then I just chop it up and put it all together. So for me, it's like having a massive reference library at hand that I can call up and say, I need spaceships. I need a spaceship going through an asteroid field. I need a spaceship blowing up. I need miners on an ore planet that are doing mining stuff. And I can get a dozen images, and I can tear them apart and put them back together, add lighting, add other images, add CG, add things to it, but be able to create and output a phenomenal piece of output, just by utilizing it as a resource. And I think if you don't approach the stuff with an open mind and say it's just another tool in the toolkit, because ultimately people, the people that are buying the stuff, I don't really think give a shit. The people that care about how it's made are the people who feel threatened. The people that buy, if it's if it looks great, it looks great. Like it doesn't really matter how it's made. I don't really know that people actually know how it's made.
I don't think people really care. Well, all right, let me rephrase that before anybody writes in. So for the majority of people, I don't think they actually care. If it's beautiful and it's great and it didn't hurt anybody and kill any trees, I think you're good to go. I think people aren't going to care. Now, if you're some hotty-toddy rich person who's got a lot of money and just likes to criticize, or if you're someone overeducated, I'm sorry, I got a lot of friends out there with more degrees than you should ever have. They will probably want to be picky. But if it's absolutely gorgeous, even they might not want to. So
ultimately, ultimately, the motivation is going to come from the buyers. If people put stuff out, like, you know, they're making manga. They're making manga with AI now, with AI generated images out of Japan. And at the initial thing, a couple like 6 months ago, was outrage. Like, oh my God, holy shit! You know, this is, you know, it's like, you know, it's the end of the world or whatever. And the company that's doing it is like saying basically, we can put one out a month instead of 1 hour every 6 months. Like, you know, there's no question as to whether they're going to do it. And they did it. And the stories are good and they're selling them. And then now it's like, who gives a shit? There's more content content.
That's the thing. As long as the story's good or the art's good, I don't think there's going to be much of a problem. And Jackie, yes, I know you're an author, baby, and I'm not hating on you. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be right. So the only differences, and Jeff and I talked about just a few minutes ago, the only real change for authors is going to be is the clutter trying to get your book into somewhere. If you're trying to get to a big seller, because even it's going to be the same thing for the AI art. I mean, for the AIs as well. They still got to get recognized somewhere to get picked up to be sold. The only difference is when you're doing AI, because you can just, you know, do text. No, you can just send it in a text. Yes, you know, like for your pad you don't have to have the physical book. And you can always do, what do you call it, Jeff? Publish on demand. You can always do publish on demand. So anyway, you're still going to be fighting. You're just going to be fighting more people. So you're going to have to do, all I can say is in this way, the authors that truly make it in the next decade will probably be writing stories that we're all like, really, because that's the only way they're going to make it.
You know, we got a pretty good crew on this end from just authorship goes, and a pretty long history in it. And there's a really good argument for quantity. Like, if you write a book, you write a story, you think it's great, and you put it out into the world, and the world doesn't really think it's that great. And if you write, like, this is just a statistical thing. You write one book and you put it out there, and there's always going to be a Christopher Paolini, right, who just like a fucking home run on Aragon and writes one book and he sells a gazillion of them, or something like that. And I'm not I know what you're. He's a great guy. I'm not being negative. I'm just saying, if you can put out 50 books, you know, then you increase the probability of one or two or three of them actually being able to generate revenue. So if you look at it from that point of view, it starts flipping. Like, you could actually make money doing it.
So let's look at it like this. We both know someone who does this. And what's his name? Dean. Wesley Dean. Look, y'all, oh God, my brain just went. What is it? Was it Wesley Dean Anderson? No, what's his name? That's Kevin Anderson. I'm mixing two names to get together. Oh, what's his name? Dean. Oh, anyway, guys, this guy.
He's written like 200 books.
Yes. What he makes just point. I mean, he's his own publisher. He's his own everything, and he just pops out books. Well, the thing with a book is you never know which one's going to be the one that just takes off and becomes a movie. You just don't know. No, nobody knows. You know, what's her face? J.K. didn't know that she was going to have an empire from writing a book. I mean, who frick knows that? It's like DC, it's or Marvel. You know, you know things are going to probably have fun and people are going to enjoy them, but you don't know to the extent.
The other thing, Joe, is that it's evergreen. So, like, there was people that were writing vampire books, and at the time, everybody said, you know, no vampires, you know, before Twilight, no vampire books, whatever. And then all of a sudden, vampires caught on, and everybody that had vampire books that were out there, like, they started selling a ton of them. So it's evergreen content. The stories and the creative don't get old, or shouldn't get old, unless you've written them in a manner that they're going to age out, like, you know, based on a current event or something. But so you don't know. It's like you're putting the lure in the water. You got, you know, and you see what would go. So there's just a good argument that if you have a lot more books out, a shit ton of them out, and you have a tool that allows you to express your creative through the design of characters, through the plots, through the nuances of what happens, and so on, and you don't necessarily, and you can then mechanically crank out the text in your voice without having to have a copy editor, and you can reduce the time to make a novel from, say, I know at our end we could probably do one. We can do one in about 3 months. I think with AI, under the scenario I just said, by outlining each chapter and putting your voice in and training it, I'm sure you could reduce that down to a month or less.
Oh yeah, I think you could. I have.
So if you could triple your output in a year, then you're putting out 12 books a year in 2 years. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like the math starts being on your side from a probability point of view of what's gonna, that something's gonna sell, makes it money.
Yes. Well, no, actually, Chris, it's Dean Leslie Smith, and then the other one that you were trying to figure out is actually now it's right out of my head. Nick Poke. That's who you're talking about. Nick is a 9 to 5 writer. I've never met a 9 to 5 writer before him. He gets up in the morning, goes in his place at 9, he writes to 5, and 5 days a week. I think he's got like 148 books or so. Look. Some are good, some are okay. But, this is something else. Remember, people heard me talking about this just the other day. Don't judge a book by its cover. And I said this because sometimes I'll see a cover on a book or on a tape or something. I'll go, man, I really want to see what that's in there. And Stupid Joe should just flip it over and read, what it's about. But no, I'll get it because of the cover. And then sometimes I'm like, wow, this was really good. And sometimes I'm like, I wonder if they'll give me my money back. Or how can I get that last 3 hours of my life back? Well, that just tells you that the illustrator was fabulous. Because some people can really sell a book with a good cover. I bet you they can. But you see, Jeff can cheat because he has other people, how can I say this, gifted people around him. Yes. Well, his buddy's Todd McCaffrey. If you don't know who Todd is, look up Ann, and it's her son. So, and Todd does his right. Todd's one of the judges for Writers of the Future. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Todd's crazy. He's one of my favorite characters. I was talking about this as I'm gonna write a book about this thing that goes on for a week out there. The awards. It's a character thing. They make everybody in it a character. Oh yes, it ought to be fun as hell.
Todd's in God mode. He's cranking out novels. He'll do 10,000 words a day.
I just I don't. It's funny you said that because when I was in LA twice, I managed to pop out one night 12,500 and one about 11,000. And so somebody said you're channeling Elron. I said no, because there it's motivated for me. Here it's not. I have no will or no want to write anything. And the AI may be a good thing for me because people bitch all the time I should put out a book. No, Jeff's in Vegas. Yes. He's a professional gambler. Yes, he makes about $2 million a year. He's single. He has children. Yes. Mm-hmm. Very gifted children at that. Very protective of their daddy, by the way. He's got friends, yes. But he would prefer a woman that could support him. It would be nicer. Yes. In style now, he expects to be in certain style. I'm just telling you, ladies, I've seen a couple of little comments go by. So I'm just helping y'all out. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, them youngins are protective of their dad. They're just warning y'all ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Well, maybe you'll catch him in Vegas one day. Maybe he'll be out there walking the strip. Y'all are insane. These people in Messenger are insane. Okay, I'm sorry. We got carried away. Louis? What are you up to? Louise, I apologize. Okay, I seen big letters go across there after that. What do you got for us? So what you two are saying is I can become a professional illustrator or a professional writer without any experience at all. Well, I don't know, Jeff. You can feel that one. I'm not touching that.
No. Look, the general rule of thumb on all AI stuff is, it's garbage in, garbage out.
Mm.
You put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. You put in something great, and you can get something great out. So anybody can make images, and anybody can ask an AI to make a story. But if it's GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. You put in garbage, you're going to get out garbage. It's not going to make you something you're not.
Yes, I wish I was on the other computer. A friend of mine, it's on my Facebook page. People, you can go look at it. It's a picture of a dingo fighting a kangaroo. It's posted up there. Y'all can go see it. It's what he asked. He asked a picture, and he got a 5-legged cyclops. Wait, no, the dingo was 5-legged, and the kangaroo was a cyclops or something like that. It's posted on my Facebook page. It's retarded. So yeah, it's all in how you put it. I would show y'all a picture that Jeff made for me last summer. For some reason, SoundCloud won't let me. Not SoundCloud. StreamYard won't let me bring it into the stream with us. Not sure what that's about. It's like you're not on the slides. You're not coming in. What's that, Rachel? You mean his? You know what? I'll get him to post his website up in a minute. Why don't you post your website in the comments, and I'll put it on the strolling thing underneath us. Yeah, because you still got a website somewhere. I know I seen it the other day.
Yeah, you mean for the art?
Or yeah, for the art. Yeah. Well, for both of you want, because I'm gonna put it on the strolling on the scroll. I
got a lot of plates swinging, brother. A lot.
I know. So put that shit up there, man. You ain't here. You are working, man. Get that shit out there.
People are gonna be like,
Sandra, this is a late night show, and it is not children rated. It says clearly on the thing, this is not for children's show. Or whatever, whoever's on here with us, it's not. Oh, look, he got it up there. Look.
There you go.
This is AI generated. He made this for me last time he was on. Took all of about 10 minutes, maybe. I don't even think it took that long. And,
well, it's actually three. There's actually 3 or 4 images.
Yeah,
the spaceship is separate. The house was separate. The clouds are separate. The light beams coming down and the lighting was done. But as far as having the raw assets and just being able to have the raw assets and be able to then assemble it, it's
a great picture. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's this looked like this. If anybody was putting this together, this would actually take some time to put together. There's lots of little detail in here. What's that, Marcus? Well, yeah, the ship could be bigger, but it doesn't really matter. That's what this picture's about. Yeah. Anything can be bigger. Okay, man. I know y'all gotta complain sometimes, but it's a great picture. This was not done by a human hand. This was done by AI. And when you look at it, and the AI has actually got more advanced since this.
Oh, way more.
That's what I'm saying. So, but look, I mean, look at the lighting. Those first 3 windows you see lights in at different levels. You see there's just a lot of detail all over this. You see stuff on the boards. I mean, you can see the way the sideboard is done. You can see the 3 chimneys clearly. I mean, it's just a lot of detail in it. There's a car pulling up. What's that, Chris? You mean is the car lights on, or is it just a reflection of the spaceship in the car? Well, I don't know. I guess it could be either one. I'm not there, and I don't plan on being there either. So I'm just telling you ahead of time. No, Jeff can go visit. I mean, that's fine. Yeah, Jeff likes some kind of crazy people. What's that? Thelma. Is this like Thelma and Louise kind of thing? Is this what's going on in here tonight? I don't know. Yeah, when y'all get on the messengers, I don't know why y'all don't use the freaking YouTube page instead of Messenger. You get on my Messenger and y'all just start typing, bejesus stuff. The thing just starts scrolling by like at light speed. It's what do you mean? I just said the man was he's looking for a sugar mama. A cute sugar mama. We don't know ugly sugar mamas. What the hell's with you people? Professional artists would be nice. Be some competition.
I just put up an art page so you can see.
Let's pop it up here. We can pop it up. There it goes here. And then you can pop up anyone after that.
It's like, is this going to work?
Yeah,
like this is this part of this is AI. The ship itself is actually a CG ship. It's because a CG, CG is. I mean, it's a CG ship that I posed and then brought in and lit and then composited and then added the flames coming out the back and then lit up parts of the clouds and so on. So this was just taking like the most available assets and the most bleeding edge shit I could take to put together something that was crazy cool, and combining combining assets.
Well, Denise, I would keep as much stock stuff on your computer as you can. Well, because the AI is going to be searching for your computer now. I forgot the one that says it searches all over the web. I don't know how that works. And when you start searching the web, there's no telling what it's going to come up with. Well, just keep a lot of stock. There's lots of there are millions and billions of free images all over the place. Just look around for them and upload them to your computer and keep them there. And some of these programs probably even come with some stock AI. I mean, stock images. I don't know. You'd have to have Jeff. You're going to take him to dinner in LA. Well, wait, wait a minute, man. I want to be taking to dinner. What am I, chopped liver here? We're not going there.
Yeah,
no,
you're going to get a lot of haters on. A lot of haters are going to come up, like, are going to look at some of these images. Like, for example, this image, the guy's AI, the wings are clip art. The clouds are partially photographs, and then are photographs, and then replicated to his size, and then it's all lit. I lit the whole thing, but there are going to be people that are just going to be pissed. They're just going to be angry. Like, I don't want to.
Well, let it be.
You're doing something less than. You're diminishing artists' work.
It's
Jay. Like, Jay is not happy.
Jay looks like he's about to smack somebody.
Jay is not happy. Jay already put in the comments.
I didn't know the images look pretty cool.
So, to me, it's all this stuff is fascinating because you can just pop up and just see there. This looks like something.
Let me explain this one. This was one of the images I was in. I had a gallery show, a couple gallery shows out here. The model we shot in the studio, and on a white, against a white drop and on a table. The actual skull itself is a skull from a picture. There's a stock image of a picture of a skulls that you can move in 3 dimensions and add. The background is not CG. The foreground is also like stock images. But then I painted all of her, and then I painted her on. I painted all of her clothing on and added her tail and all that stuff. Like, so it's, to me, like, if an AI can get me, can get me a great looking backdrop, can get me a great looking skull, can get me, good grass or a wonderful environment, then I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna use it. And I know there's a lot of, like,
well, yeah, you might as well use it. I mean,
through the screen, but
It's still in its infancy. And some of the images I've seen, I saw this one a week or so ago. It was a picture. I think it was a real picture of a woman's face, but the background was AI, and then there was an umbrella. But the umbrella, the handle went through her face and then out under her chin. It was really weird, but it's getting there.
No, it's there, dude.
Oh yeah,
it's there. Take a look at this. This is
Wow.
image. The background. This is actually, the background is AI. Each of these characters was generated through AI as separate characters in a character study, like a 3D character study. And then I pulled them out, positioned them inside, lit it, added the shadows, added the fog, and just, the overall lighting and so on. But from a raw character, but the actual, and then I did a little bit of painting. I had a little bit of painting on it, but not like massive painting. Didn't have to massively paint this, and I could, and and that's a pretty good example. Here's another one. The girl with the girl and the girl is not CG. The girl is like really is a little girl, but I wanted her looking at the skull, and then you had to put a rim light on it and all that. Yeah. So and there are or movie poster kinds of things where you're going to composite, like this is a bunch of different composites put together in that particular character in the dark robe. I do in the AI, do a study and have like 50 of them in different positions from different angles, and then pull the one I like out, manipulate. In this case, I manipulated the cape, and then relit it and so on. But I mean, it looks pretty cool.
It does. No, see, that's the thing. And now you see, ladies and gentlemen, this proves something to y'all. When you listen to Jeff speak here, you still need an illustrator. So the AI is doing a lot of stuff here, but there are little things that the boss man here is still adding, removing, or setting in particular ways. So look, see, there's still hope for you people out there for jobs.
Yeah, I think that, like, my point was that if you can embrace the tools, that it enhances your ability and it provides you new ways of doing things, provides you new opportunities. Like take graphic novel. Let me show you this. These are all comic books that are done with AI. There's about 60 of them here.
Damn.
And I'll show you some of the interiors on them. And these are all people that are good. They're storytellers. They're writers. And all of a sudden they had the ability to take the world that was in their head already, this universe that was in their head, and start getting it out and looking at it. And, you know, some of the books are better than others. Some of them have better art than others. But the point is that it enables them to be able to create something they couldn't create before and visualize their world in a new way. And they are really super excited about it because it's something that, you know, it was beyond the ability for them to do mechanically, technically, and also from a cost point of view. And now I'll bring up a couple for you know, to show kind of to see what the insides look like here in a second. So if you're a storyteller already, and it's inside your head, because if you're writing it, it's in your head. It's pretty damn cool to be able to start putting images around it and illustrations around it, and it helps you envision the world. And I think it's a really good argument to be made with regards to a collaborative piece. Like sometimes, you know, I know people that are working with AI, text to image, and they're putting all kinds of different ideas in. The AI is coming up with all kinds of crazy shit. Some of it's good, some of it's garbage, but some of them creates, it's like sparks your imagination. Sparks their imagination. They go, "Oh, that's a cool idea. That's a cool idea. I think I'm going to add that to my story." And if you look back and if you know, kind of look at some of the way filmmakers do things, a lot of filmmakers take inspiration from the art and add it into the story. So it's just like, why can't more be more? Why is one diminishing one of the something else? So why are people pissed or threatened when, you know, when this could be something that could help you create more shit, broaden your horizons? But I think you just got to run at it and go at it with vigor, and then see what happens.
Well, I agree. I mean, it's the only way we're going to find out anyway. And I think this could be good for a lot of people. I said this just a couple of weeks ago talking about this, that I thought, because, you know, I think what companies will do is they'll bring in AI software and then they'll bring in illustrators or authors and say, okay, look, you got this tool, you know, let's start producing. And like you said earlier, you can get things out a lot faster. So this could actually help with movies and stuff like this, you know, especially when they need ghostwriting stuff or stuff that just need filler stuff. This could really change the way things. And think about it right now. Right now, this could be putting actors or writers out of business. All the
So they're on
striking going
strike.
on. Yeah, they're on strike. They could get out there and start just writing. And if these stories turned out good and people started enjoying them, they would be in a world of hurt.
The big question is the AI art and text, is it enough to let it go on its own, or do you still need to have a human being in there to edit it? Because like I said, I saw that one picture, but it was a nice picture of this woman, but the umbrella was up here and the handle went through her skull, and you could see it kind of like behind her chin. So does tweaking need to be happening with a human being, or is it not? It's not quite automatic yet.
I can show you. I could kind of show you this. What I would consider to be like the state of the art. The state of the art is really is right now is Midjourney, and there's a lot of other. There's a couple of others. There's DALL-E. There's Stable Diffusion and so on, and a lot of, and it's particularly Stable Diffusion because it's open source. There's a lot of people running at it, and it's coming up with some really killer stuff. But it's also free, and Midjourney you got to pay for it. And I'm not being a dick. I'm just talking, right? So when you have to know what you're looking at. I'll share the screen with you. Here. So I was working on a space novel, and I wanted to, and I used this for brainstorming and concepting for worlds. That's a
good way of doing it. I recognize one of them there.
Yeah, I wanted to create worlds. There was space interior ships I wanted to do, and so I went through and just created just a shit ton of pictures. Pardon my language. Just created a bunch of pictures, and you can see how it was. They were started visually building the universe, and this is phenomenal stuff. I mean, these look really great, right?
They do. They look great. It's stuff you can use all over the place.
Yeah, with ships and cyborgs and mining areas, and
Gives you lots to choose from too.
So I could, I crank it out. Oh, and then also, what are the characters like cyborgs? What are they post-human? Is it this kind of cyborg? Is it more human looking, or is it or is it way the fuck out there and looks like that, right? But all this stuff looks great. It's there. I can tell you can't get consistency. It's very, very difficult to get consistency unless you train models to do it, and that's a different discussion. But as far as just raw brainstorm, come up with cool ideas and stuff, it's phenomenal, just incredible, and it's empowering. Like as a writer, as a creator, to have I have a universe in my head. When I put in there, what kind of cyborg I want it to be, or post-human, or I want it to be, or I want it to have, wires, or I want it to have, I want it to be biomechanical, or whatever the hell I want it to be, because I know what kind of stuff I want, and then it starts spitting out images. It's really motivating. It's really motivating, and by the way, really fun.
Well, yeah, it looks like it's fun, and one of the things I like about this, if you have a little bit of creativity in your brain. Especially with young kids, and this is stuff that people can start at a very young age now and start doing, and just by the time they'd get to our age, their library would be so huge it'd be ridiculous. They could just have literally millions of things to choose from. What's that, Denise? Well, no, he's creating these. He's generating these is what I should say.
This is 100% Midjourney. These are not non-composited. The other stuff you saw was composited and lit and so on. This is just raw. This is right out of Midjourney. And I mean, I know how to.
Jack, Midjourney is the AI. Yeah, no, that's the AI Midjourney.
So you just tell it what you want, and it generates these images.
Yeah.
I want a picture of Jay riding a space cowgirl. Oh wait, I shouldn't have said that out loud. That might get us in trouble.
These look pretty good, like almost anime. How do you animate? Is that even possible yet, or is it all going to be still?
Yeah, I can show you an example of that.
That could be the chick from Discovery, man.
This was. I was exploring the idea of having kids as cyborgs, ultimately,
Okay.
I decided against it. But at the time, I thought it could be cool, right? So
Little baby Borg.
Mm-hmm.
cyborg, baby cyborg. So I decided against it, but you know, so this is I've got 25,000 of these. I've been doing
Wow.
a lot of.
Yeah, well, the more you got to choose from, the better whatever you're using for is going to be. It just gives you a lot to choose from. And when you storyboard and you want a lot to choose from, it makes a better story.
How long does it take to render one of these?
Minutes.
Really? Wow. Okay. So when I was in art school in the 90s, we were starting to get like some of the first really cool digital art programs, and some of the things, I mean, you had to build them with little polygons and squares and so on. And then, it took hours, days, and weeks to render, one image or several images to make a small video.
Now, here's
anymore,
what's happening
man.
is the stuff that's called these are starting to get illustrated. I'll find the latest. But you take a combination of what's called Midjourney and a Gen 2 video image to video, and all of a sudden you're cinematic. You're moving around. You have people looking and shit happening, and so instead of having to create the CG, like go from go down to polygons and come back up through come through UV maps and rigging and all that happy shit, you're basically being able to, and this will happen within the next, I don't know, maybe 12 months, if not less, is you'll be able to take like these characters, and you'll get you'll get them from all angles. Then that will be interpreted by an AI. It'll be turned into, it'll be rigged, and then it'll be flopped out in motion capture. So anybody walking around outside, there's technology now. If you just walk around outside, it'll switch you out for a robot or a dinosaur or whatever the hell it is. It's just a matter of time before these two are connected, before they can connect this and those two together. And so the CG, like the CG that can be accomplished now. Do you remember the movie District 9?
Yes.
Yeah. That was mind-boggling, right? That those creatures were just like unbelievable. Yeah. You can do that right now with just taking an iPhone video, you running around outside, you go into a program and flop it out. And I can set all that stuff to demo at some point in time in the future. I want to show you how to do it. And all of a sudden you're not in the photo anymore. It's a robot. Yeah. And it's got shadows, and it's got textures, and it is like, blended perfectly.
What about motion blur? Because that's one of the things that they had trouble with CGI, is like CGI characters, there's no motion blur. So they had to go back to CGI images and videos and add motion blur, frame by frame, to make it look more realistic.
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe that hasn't been tackled yet, but given the size of the complexity that has been tackled, it's like they'll fucking figure it out.
Yeah. That last image you had up there, those two robots, the faces were absolutely photorealistic.
Yeah.
It's what was that, Clara? Wait, what? Well, no, they're, like we said just a minute ago, they're generating these. It's the machine's doing it, basically. The software's doing it. I shouldn't say machine.
So that's all 100% generated. Yes. Those faces are generated by the computer.
Yeah,
it's like a photo. It's like a real person. But I mean, wow.
Wow. Clara says, didn't you have artwork you did with models?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he did. He showed it on the last show when we were here.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. We looked at it. It was very good. Yes. No, yes. Actually, several of the artists that we've had on the network do live models. Yes. I know, when I hear people always talk about it's a thing of the past, but with the artists I meet, it doesn't seem to be a thing of the past to them. I'm a little confused.
It's brand new stuff, but everybody's using it.
Yeah. Well, no, we were talking about models of real live models. And I know several of the artists I know use models. Almost all of the judges do. But yeah, well, people.
This is a really trippy site. It's called "This Person Does Not Exist."
Oh, stop, Lord!
And every time you refresh it,
But those are like actual photos.
But these people do not exist. These are assembled on the fly.
Wow.
These are CG.
So
I know this guy, man. What you talking about? I know this guy. I've had sex with this girl. I don't know what y'all talking about. Are you in my library here, man? This guy's just ugly.
I haven't got to the dirty stuff yet.
This guy's ugly, man.
That'll be reaching into your computer on. But yeah, this is a trippy site. It's called This Person Does Not Exist, and these are computer generated models and actors that are done in real time.
Well, we talked about just a while back about pretty soon the computer generated actors and actresses. We're not going to need real actors and actresses anymore, which I got to say, I won't be that hurt. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not in for all the fanfare, man. A lot of that stuff is just insane.
Now, once in a while, it screws up. Like this screws up. Like her, this is screwed up, right?
Yeah, it's kind of messed up looking.
But
coming out of a
that's
bag
that's one out of what?
First?
10? 1 out of 15 that's messed up?
Yeah, that's not bad odds. Nah, that's not bad odds.
That's pretty cool.
This is on the cusp of like the cutting edge technology from the next generation Star Trek, where they had the holodecks with these, not just photorealistic, but realistic characters that you can touch and interact with. So this is like going on like holodeck kind of stuff.
It's just mind blowing.
Yeah.
And like as soon as you loosen up to it and loosen up and say, you mean I can be God and create photorealistic worlds, crafts, creatures, whatever you like, all of a sudden, instead of it feeling like you're like it's coming to take your way, you're creative. All of a sudden, like your brain blows up. Like, holy crap! I could do all this stuff.
Well, I can see where this stuff can be incentive, but we got to go to break right quick, guys and girls. So y'all two hang on, get a cup of coffee, a drink. We can be gone for 4 or 5 minutes. No, we're not going anywhere. People got lots of time to talk. Last I checked, both these guys are grown adults. And they're not going to turn into pumpkins or nothing. But hold on, we'll be right back.
Pumpkin-like.
You are listening to UPRN, United Public Radio Network, coming to you live on 105.3 right up to 107.7 FM from the beautiful city of New Orleans. UPRNTalkRadio.com.
Looking for stories that are fresh and new? Dark fantasy, humor, space exploration, time travel, cyberpunk, alternate history, and more. They're in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology from 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
All right, everybody. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. The Outer Realm in the category of Best Female Hosted Podcast. The Outer Realm is a very popular show hosted by Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, which boasts millions of listeners each week who are well known for and have been complimented on their very laid-back, roundtable style of interviewing. Together, this dynamic duo brings you the best of the best with guests from around the world who are well-versed within their respective fields of ufology, paranormal, esoteric, and other areas of high strangeness, and more. So go to podcastawards.com to nominate The Outer Realm in the category Best Female Hosted Podcast. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and do it now.
All right, everybody, it's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. Yes, it is that time of year again. There's a show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. UFO Undercover brings you some of the most revealing and current research that is being done with respect to alien abductions and contact. Host Joe Montaldo has been an abduction researcher for over 35 years and is uniquely qualified to bring you live interviews with some of the most well-known researchers in ufology. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and get... It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards, Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast, in 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. For 4 years, the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast has provided advice and tips from international best-selling authors, world-class artists, contest judges and winners, and industry professionals based on the world-famous Writers of the Future contest created in 1983 by L. Ron Hubbard to help the aspiring writer and artist no matter their age. It is dedicated to the future of storytelling and art by showing that it is never too late to start, and those who make it are those who never give up. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast in any or all of the 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and go out and vote now.
Hey there. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. The News on the Flipside, in the category of politics and news. News on the Flipside is a much different news and political program which is not deemed as opinion news. Listen as Joe Montaldo brings to you just the facts from trusted sources which will allow you, the people, to make up your own minds on the various stories being reported on. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate News on the Flipside in the category of politics and news. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and do it now.
Got a Metallica album. Yes, Enter Sandman.
Oh, I can't help it. I love starting with that song, guys. Welcome back, everybody. It's I usually use that for an intro. I love that song for an intro. But anyway, what do you mean you've never heard that song before? You're on crack? Where do you live? Like in the Ukraine or something? No, really. I mean, come on. You really don't know. Oh, well, I don't know. You're definitely not American or Canadian or anywhere on this side of the planet, or European for that matter, as far as I can say. That's Metallica's Sandman. Yes, that's what that is. Again with this, okay. Sugar mama, blonde, 5'5", long blonde hair, big boobs, wealthy. He prefers wealthy. Very nice. Got 2 very nice daughters. Yes, very sweet young ladies. Very intelligent young ladies, by the way. Mm-hmm. So you can't be dumb, is what I'm saying. Because the girls would eat you alive. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just trying to help you out if you're going to go after them, man. So this is, how you say it? Lawanda? It's like Lawanda. Okay, Lalonda. Is that right? Lalonda. Lalonda lives in Las Vegas, and she said, "You're just handsome."
Oh, me? Or JW?
No, she's talking about JW. You don't live in Las Vegas. You live in Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
So real quick, because we got to get back to serious stuff here in a minute. Real quick, what? No poor girls, rich girls. Let me explain something to y'all, okay? And I told this to my own daughters and my own sons. It's just as easy to love a rich person as a poor person. I'm just going to be honest about it. Anyway, Jeff, welcome back to the show, man. It's a bit strange these days. No, I was just trying to help y'all out. That's all. No, Jeff is really a good sport. We had a lot of fun with him at his expense in Los Angeles, and I got to torture him when he was doing when he was over there, because he had won. So we get to torture all the winners while they're there. Mm-hmm. So there you go. See, he should do a thing for the Outer Realm. A banner for the
Yeah.
Outer Realm. Well, you didn't see the one he made for me. Where's it at? It's. I'll show you after a while. It's up on my screen somewhere. I pulled it up a minute.
I mean, I can want me to show you some more stuff.
Yeah, tape. That's what you're here for, man. Throw that shit up there. It's What's that?
This is
No. Good. No, go ahead, man. Sorry, go ahead.
This is a 93-page graphic novel. And,
Damn.
Oops.
Wow.
This is all of this stuff is composited and relit, but the 95% of the imaging was 95% of the imaging came out of. This is long. I mean, this is fucking huge. Okay, like
Take your time, man. We gotta.
But
we
the
gotta.
paneling was done by a human, right? The paneling isn't AI.
no, the paneling. Yeah, the paneling was done by. But actually, this is my book, so we'll put off the record. Okay, so yeah, so the paneling is done. The paneling is done, and of course all the lighting and the
balloons.
shadows, and there's all kinds of stuff that's done by hand, but it's from putting, like, getting the faces together, maybe perhaps adding teardrops, but the faces, the environments.
This saves so much work. This is. I mean, this is weeks worth of work. This saves. This ain't even. I mean, literally, if you had to do all of this. I mean, all of this. I mean, just all of this is just weeks. I mean, I watch enough illustrators now that I know
Months,
it's
probably.
just, it's a lot of work. And that's if you dedicate it, X amount of time every day.
I think it's
Yeah, I mean, if you were painting this on with acrylics or oils, you're talking months for all of this.
talking years, because there's
Yeah,
95 pages. There's 95 pages, and every page has at
There's a lot
least
of detail in
one,
these
and some
pages.
pages have 4 on them.
yeah, images,
So-
yeah.
It's from a practical point of view, it would be, if someone took them a year, like, I don't know, it's huge. It's a lot. It's just it's from
Yeah,
a
it's
practical
a
point
lot
of
of
view.
work.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a ton of work. Hey, Saffron, how y'all doing this morning? Yes, how is it over there in England? I know you're in London. I've seen your last questions before. How is it over there in London? What is it? It's 7 a.m., 6 a.m., right? Yeah, 6 a.m. 6:40 a.m. in London time. Well, that means it's.
Yeah, they're
What
like
you
6
doing
or
up
7
there?
hours
Are
ahead of us.
you just getting up? For us, it's from where we are. For me, it's 6 hours. From you, it might be 5 hours. But what are you just getting out of bed? What's up? Haven't gone to bed yet.
Here's an
Okay.
interesting. We were talking earlier about having something that you have to have the creative, like, even if you have a machine help you make the visuals, you have to have the creative. Oh, you have to have the creative to begin with. Like, if you look at this panel here, there's a field of mirrors with skeletons on stakes with the reflections of what they were during life.
Oh, wow.
Those are all different. The mirrors came out of a CG. Pardon me, AI. The skeletons are CG. Anyways, the point is that if it's in your head and now you have tools to be able to assemble something, this is actually a really complicated.
Yeah, this actually is something, gives you something to work off of if you want to go in another direction.
This is really a complicated image.
So Saffron was asking, when you do these like these, can you use 2 programs and have it do the writing and the illustrating for you at the same time, or do you necessarily have to put the writing in yourself? The text panels. Yeah.
You mean there's a great program called Comic Life
I think
that is
are done by
that
hand.
is like $97 or $37 or something, and it'll help you put panels together, and it has drag and drop dialogue boxes and so on.
Oh, well, there you go.
From a storytelling point of view, if we can move over to GPT, and I can show you, talk about that a little bit. Yeah, so this is him recounting, going back through his life and seeing how his world has been changed because the devil that tricked him can manipulate time differently than him. Blah, but it's a story, right? It's a story. Here's a magazine that is all about. All of these are different books written. These are all AI generated or AI assisted comic books and there's like 20 different authors. This is just like a brief overview of the different kinds of the different books. And you can see there's different styles here. There's different, some of them manga, some of them are very arty. The storytelling piece, and here's another. This is interesting. I think is very interesting for writers, which I would argue is what I would call illustrated fiction. Anyways, there's just a ton of stuff here. I think that there's a good argument for writers. Writers have. See, here's the deal. You can't writers. It's very difficult to make money. And it's like there's like nowhere to sell short stories. Where do you sell a short story? Nobody. Now, if you could take a short story and you could turn it into a product, and that became basically a serialized graphic novel, so to speak, and you were selling by chapter, then it may look like something like this. And I think this is where you're telling a story, and the graphics and the illustrations are an integral part of the story, but it's not the same as a comic book, and it's not really, it's kind of a hybrid, right? But you can tell a pretty nice story in 22 pages, which is essentially the size of a comic.
Yeah.
And you can bring some pretty compelling art into it that helps tell the story.
Yeah, and I guess you could slip some art in between, have one page with no text every so often, just to sell a scene or something. I don't even know if you'd have to, but it would probably look better.
It's
as
it evolves, right? You do it. You can do whatever the hell you want, but this is a combination of being able to. I mean, look, if you could take a short story of 3,000 words, and let's say you had a long story. Let's say you had a novella of, let's say for the sake of discussion, it was 18,000 words. You could break that down into 3,000 words, just 6 3,000 word chunks that were, say, chapters, and each one of those chapters you turn into something like this, illustrated fiction. Then, and every one of those you sold as a download for a couple bucks. All of a sudden, you have a new way of selling short stories and a new way of selling novels, and it's compelling and it's interesting, and you just simply haven't been able to do it before ever, because you couldn't possibly be able to create this much art, and be able to. The dollars and cents just didn't work. So, from a storyteller point of view, if this provides a whole new way of telling a story, of getting your world out there, and then
it's a game changer.
And then and also it's because it's fairly easy to serialize. Like it's completely reasonable to put one of these a month out. It's completely reasonable to put one a month out.
Yeah, I can see that. And what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh,
are people able to print these books, or is it all strictly an electronic download?
Well, so the way this seems to be working now is that this is an ongoing business model. I haven't proved. I'm like showing you shit that is not like the business model. Here's the way the business model seems to be working. Like it's not This is all really new. Like this is like fresh off the press.
Yeah.
Like no, like. But the way the business model seems to be working is that the individual books of 22 pages are like basically comic book size or manga size, are bought for digital download at $1.99 or something like that, right? When you put them all together and you put all like there's 4 books in this series, you put them all 4 of them together, and now you have like a 90-page graphic novel. That's something worth printing. So, because the print cost on a one-off print cost on the comic book size or manga size is prohibitive, and it's prohibitive. It just sucks. But if you have if someone downloads it and looks at them and they go, this is cool. I'd like to have a print copy. Then the anthologies and also the world builders. Part of what you can do with this technology is you can put a world builder around it. So you can say, here's my character. Here's the religions within the caste system between Jupiter and Mars. Here's what a post-human is. Here's what the Earth Trade Commission is. You can break down elements and pieces and parts of a story, flesh it out, and then add graphics, add pictures, and so on, so that it's just a world builder. It's just more to it, and that's all reasonably that can all be accomplished fairly reasonably. So it starts enhancing.
It also seems like this is something you're going to see at the sci-fi and Star Trek and the Star Wars conventions. I've been to quite a few of them, and in the dealers' rooms, there's always a couple of tables that are fan art or fan literature tables where these guys are writing and producing their own stories and art based on certain universes, whether it's Star Trek, Star Wars, Marvel, whatever. Yeah. So this would be a game changer for them. They can create their own art images and books and then print them out, and you can have a hard copy right there that they've produced for maybe $50 per copy, and they sell it for $60. They're making $10 every time they send one. So it's a game changer all around the world.
Okay, no, but a question, because we got Kickstarter now. Could you put this out on a Kickstarter as piece by piece by piece? Would it be a feasible thing to do? Put up the first piece and say, hey, whatever, I need to make whatever, and that way and if you sold enough of them, you could actually give a novel away or a book away, whatever you want to call it. Because I have no idea what they are at different page sizes. I'll leave that for y'all authors. So that's not something I really pay that much attention to. But I was just wondering, because I know people use this Kickstarter for a lot now, and there's a lot of people making money over there. So I was just wondering, since you could do it as a panel, do one set, put it on Kickstarter and say, hey, this is the story, this is how you get it. And say you have to get X amount, and then that would, kind of, how can I say this? Give you some more incentive to make the other one faster and more involved. And then do it with each one, and that way, when you have the book, you could promise you could do it as something like, let me do a 35 or 55,000, and when all of them are done, you get the book to free at the end.
If there's,
I don't know, I'm just thinking.
There's some really super pros on Kickstarter,
I know.
This is fertile ground for them, like to be able to. But you got to know what you're doing. You got to know the donation levels, and you got to be able to put out the initial what you can say and what you can't say, what your demos look like. I mean, there's a lot of. I've done one, and it was a trip. I mean, it was not a slam dunk. It was you got, and I think the more you know what you're doing, the better you are at it. And also, if you have an audience, that helps a lot. Like if you don't have an audience,
it makes it harder because you got to go out and build an audience.
Well, here's a good idea for you also, because what you can do with these, like you had those photos of the robots and the artificial people. How hard would it be to import that image to a 3D printer and print out a figurine or a prop or a laser gun?
Right. It just starts. Bam!
Oh.
All of a sudden, you're making props, right?
Right.
I was just getting ready to say that. So Japan, not China, a couple of friends of mine over there. So they can take this AI now and hook it up to their printers, and I think he said they can print I forgot what, some ungodly amount of books, not books, but like comics and stuff like that, paperbacks and stuff. He said they can print several thousand an hour now for next to nothing.
Wow.
So I don't know now how, is Americans welcome to it? I don't know. I'll ask next time I talk to them. But I noticed China's been changing some stuff around that may actually help with this, because China's got 1.5 billion people. And if all this AI stuff takes off, even they're going to start using it, and all the rest of the freaking world's going to start using it. And we're going to just have a creativity. I'm hoping, how can I say this politely? I'm hoping we have an ungodly creativity boom. Because really, I'm going back to what I said earlier. I just feel like we've been stagnant since like 1950. Get mad at me, people. If y'all ever seen the Forbidden Planet and you've watched sci-fi since, it's pretty much same stories. I'm just trying to help y'all out. What do you mean? Can you do Flash? You mean Flash Gordon? Well, no, you. I guess you could ask the AI to do Flash Gordon, but you'd still be in copyright, Luke. Yeah, it's Flash Gordon.
I think the copyright's still active on that.
Yeah. I don't think because the AI made it's going to make it any different. I don't know. I don't think that's going to work.
If you purchase the copyrights, then you can take any entity that you purchase copyrights to and do AI with it.
Well, if you've got laser printers now, because a lot of people are using laser printers at home because they're printing products that they're selling, like on TikTok and places like that, cups and bottles. They can print quite a lot of stuff, but you can actually get decent sized paper printers at home now. We just got one for our office. I think it was about 4 Gs, but it can do some serious printing, and so it's there's ways to cut costs, but the initial upfront cost on your very first one is going to be the one that hurts you. After that, you'll probably be able to. What do you mean? Let's ask Jeff. Jeff, I know Jeff. He lives in Vegas, so. So what do you think? I know this is a question that gets asked a lot of times amongst writers and illustrators, and I hear this all over. I've heard it at different award ceremonies. I've heard it at different dinners. I've heard it at different conferences. What's conference versus non-conference? What's the best way to go? Should you spend the money to get a table at a conference? And now with AI, you can show up with a lot of material. So what do you think, Jeff? Should you?
At most the table, having done like my daughters and have done Comic-Cons for the last 14 years, and they've got and anyways, unless you have the cons are a business in and of itself, and it's not.
They are.
It's really easy to go out and just blow a whole lot of money. It's like,
yes, it is.
It's not really hard easy to lose your wallet.
You can really, yeah.
So, but for you, I mean, for any writer or illustrator, is there profit to be made there for them? I mean, you got to haul books around. You got to bring.
Well, it depends on how many. If you go to a Comic-Con and you have one book, the probability is low that you're even going to break even. It's a retail business. It just happens to be portable, and a gazillion people show up. So, when you go to Comic-Cons and you see the comic book vendors there, they've got like 1,000 books, or the people that are selling T-shirts, they got like 1,000 T-shirts, or whatever. Like, I'm exaggerating to a certain extent, but
no. But some of them do have 1,000 T-shirts. To be honest, I mean, I've seen some pretty big setups, and it's like the guys who are selling lightsabers. I mean, there's a lot of retail going on at these things. There's a lot of money people flowing through there.
My experience with it is I've been going to conventions since like the early 80s. And I've got to be friends with a lot of different dealers. One of my friends on Facebook, Roger Romage, is a dealer. He does stuff at Dragon Con and Shore Leave here in Baltimore. They bring several totes. I mean, we're talking 500, 600, 800 pounds worth of stuff.
Yeah. And
their intention is to sell all of that at the convention. And if they don't, they got to haul all that 800 pounds of stuff back with them to their next event or to their home until the next event happens. So what happens is most of the time on the last day of the event, they're cutting deals. So they're making money the last day, probably more than they do on the first 2 days because it's all full price. Then on Sunday, they want to get rid of that stuff. They want to lighten their load. So, something that was $500, they maybe let go for $200 or $300. Just so it gets out of their totes, and that's less weight for them to carry back home.
Yeah, so, and it also starts. They can turn their cash also. Getting something seen in inventory, it gets a chance of getting damaged. Anything can happen, right? So if if you can get your cash back in, you can reinvest and do something else. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, I always tell people the same thing. If you're newbies into conferences, go to ones that are you can drive to. That way, if you get stuck with a bunch of inventory, you can pack it back in your trunk and bring it home with you. And that way, also, if you want to set up your booth, if you have a setup you want to do with your booth, it's easier to take it in your car or your truck until such a time that you got the big money. Writers of Future buys, they do 2 booth spaces usually, and they've got rubber mats and they've got red dress. They really set it up. Now, but to the question that you asked earlier, Mark, if you really want to sell books, steal Sarah from Writers of the Future. That woman can sell books like I ain't never seen. Oh my God, she'll have 8 people out there at one time. It's just I don't know how she does it. She's insane. You need somebody like that. But you really, to a good piece of advice is, especially for my author friends, because sometimes y'all are, for my illustrator friends, I'm sorry, sometimes y'all are less than chatty. If you're going to sell books, you got to talk to people. I'm just telling you. You can't just sit in the booth and not say anything. You got to talk to people.
Yeah,
you got to engage.
You got to be interactive. You got to be interactive. You got to have, and the best of the best. I mean, this is retail, but the best practice is put your prettiest book forward. You don't put an ugly, crumpled up book in front and expect people to buy it. You put the good stuff up front, and then when you start to lose or whittle down your inventory, then someone comes by. Oh, I want that book. So all I have is this one left. Take it or leave it. It's a little damaged, and you sell it for a discount, but you got to put the presentation forward, and you got to talk. If someone comes by, you don't just go and watch and walk away. You say, "Hi, how are you?" And they're either going to talk to you or they're not. So,
I don't know, guys. I don't sell stuff at conferences anymore. I'm usually at work. I'm usually doing press or I'm doing lectures, one or the other or both. So I'm not really selling anything.
If you can get a table, if you can get a table for $50 or $75 or something like that, and go out there and learn, and you get beat up, and you like don't break even, it's not the end of the world. If you go spend $3,000 for a booth, and then you got to move in all that stuff through the union guys and the pallets and the next thing you know, you're up to $7,000 or $8,000 for a booth. That's a very painful experience. But if you can start off like you were saying, go somewhere local, just get a table, bring your stuff, and see what happens. See how
get an idea how this all works. I'll tell you what, you'll be much better off for it. What do you mean? I get what they call tables because I'm going to be talking with people. Yes. So this is what pisses off some of the vendors around me. So I'll be sitting there, nothing for sale. I'm not even giving away something most of the time. I'm just sitting there, just talking. There'll be 30, 40, 50 people around my table while these other guys, and it's mainly because they just won't get up and talk to people. Well, I'm very engaging. Jeff will tell you that. I don't talk with anybody. Jesus. But you have to. I'm just telling you, you want to sell books, you want to sell art, it doesn't matter what you're trying to sell. And you know what? I'll tell you another little secret. If you're one of those kind of people who's very shy and just can't do it, bring a friend with you that can.
Yeah.
Bring it out, one friend.
That's really good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good advice.
A couple of belts of liquor would help too. I mean, I hate to say that, but if you're shy and introverted, take a couple of belts of liquor. It'll open you up and take your aversions away, and you'll be able to talk to people easier.
You'll be tanked and having a good time, and maybe you sell something. At least you're having a good time.
I'm just telling people, just make you relax yourselves and have, it is, really, it is partly when I do these, I have fun. I mean, it's always weird though. My wife cracks me up with this stuff, but it's always weird. She goes, they want to talk to you. I'm like, what do you mean they want to talk to me? She's like, didn't 2 people want to talk to you? I'm like, well, so? And so she'll be telling stuff like, well, you can talk to him, just go say hi. I'm like, what do you mean just go say hi?
You'll know when people want to talk to you. If they're shy too, they'll stand and kind of wave in the background and just wait till you're available.
Or you reach out and say, hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
Be interactive. A quick story I can tell you from Dragon Con years and years ago. I went there specifically. I went there to go to see the Battlestar Galactica cast. Richard Hatch, Herbert Jefferson Jr., Jack Stauffer, and Dirk Benedict were there. So I actually got to escort Richard Hatch to his lecture in my uniform of Battlestar Galactica. But the story goes, when I went into the dealer's room, which is huge at Dragon Con, it's enormous. I mean, it's 2 levels. There's people everywhere. I went straight to Richard Hatch's booth. I spoke to him for about a half an hour. I bought his 4 comic books. He signed all 4 of them for me. I still have them. They're upstairs somewhere. And then I walked around the corner and I see Don Schmidt, UFO researcher. He's by himself in some little tucked away corner. So he got a pretty bad booth, and he was in a bad mood. But I wanted to talk to him. And I was eager and really, because Roswell is one of my favorite incidents. I wanted to talk to him about it, but he wasn't into it. But I bought his book and he signed it for me. But he had the one book, and just the one book, and he had a bad space, and he was in a bad mood. And I guarantee you he didn't make his money at that convention, because he hasn't. I don't think he's been there ever since. So you can't be like that. You got to try to get in early. If there's a convention near you, get your booth early. You get a better position in the booth than you do if you buy last. If you buy the last booth available, you're going to be stuck in some dark corner, no power. You're not going to get any sales. So another thing you can do is do like I do. I don't sell things. I don't have a booth at conventions. I talk to the dealers that have things that I enjoy, Star Trek, Star Wars, anime and whatnot, and ask them, how does this work for you? Do you carry, how much do you bring with you to sell? How much do you bring with you when you go back? Do you sell out? And that you get advice from those guys, and you're going to be way, way more ahead of anyone else who's going to be just starting into this business.
Yeah. All I can tell you is get out there and make friends, people. Make connections too. When you
that's the only way.
When I used to do the conference tours, I made friends with everybody, and I'm not even going to lie to you. I used to bring an entourage along with me. I'd have people like different directors and different friends from different states meet me at conferences, so we had a presence there. And they're out, milling and playing and having fun. But while they're telling, hey, you need to go here and see such and such. Go talk to us. Go listen to the lectures. That way, our lectures were always full. And if we were giving away stuff or even selling stuff, sometimes it was always doing well. Well, people, if you're going to get into this professionally, you're going to have to get a background for yourself and banners and stuff. Now, you don't have to get crazy fancy, but you need something that stands out. And you need a dress table. Don't just put a stupid table there. I'm just telling y'all guys. I will walk. It just does. If you want to make real money, it's got to look professional. If you want to make half-ass money, it don't. There's a few people.
Let me give you some other new stuff. You ready?
Yeah. Here we go. What's he up to? He's been typing while we've been talking, y'all. So. Yes, Denise, 150 days till Christmas.
Ooh, wow.
Ooh. I better buy me some Christmas presents this year. I'm feeling unloved.
Every book will sooner or later have an audiobook to go with it.
Oh yeah, I agree with that, and I'll be so happy because I love audiobooks.
That what I just played for you was computer generated, and that computer generated voice was from 2 months ago. Here's I cut and pasted this. This says over here, this part here. I cut and pasted it into here, and I'll generate it now with this particular voice.
Wait, I lost it. What happened?
It's generating.
Oh,
see the progress bar at the bottom.
Oh yeah, there it is. I didn't notice it. What's that? So I don't know, when we're done with this, I'll ask. Okay.
So in this case, in here I've used here's I can do it. I'll do it in a male voice. So if you have there is, in my humble opinion, there's no reason if you've written a book, you shouldn't have an audio book, because the quality of the voices now is so good, and they are emoting a lot. In the last 2 months, they're emoting way better than anything in the past. That it really is it's like really not, and it's not a no-brainer, but it's a pretty low-brainer to be able to turn your whole book into an audiobook. And
all right, you're just torturing me now. I ain't heard nothing. Stop torturing me.
Yeah, nothing came over.
Oh, you didn't hear anything?
You're just torturing me. I see. He's a tease. See, ladies, he's a tease. You see this? Shame.
How do I do that?
I'm gonna start my own dating show. What the hell was that? Oh.
So you couldn't hear that, huh?
No. At first I did, and then it just went away.
It said a couple of words and then it stopped.
Okay, maybe I just need to turn it up really loud
Yeah.
because I'm running it through. Okay, here we go. Let me just crank it. Nothing?
Nothing.
Not getting anything.
Let me try to reset this audio in the.
What do you mean? Oh, well, I'll ask him in a second.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys can't hear this. This is really
well, work on it. What do you mean recommend you to an illustrator school? You mean like a real school or to someone from like one of the artists that has one? I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Well, if they're interested in art schools, there's quite a few. I went to Savannah College of Art and Design. They have some really excellent illustration programs, including what they call sequential art, which is comic books.
Oh, you went to college for it. Okay, well, so what are you asking? What do you mean you heard somebody on here that offers classes?
If you're probably talking about the Writers of the Future and the Illustrators of the Future, they have the classes and the extra help for the winners.
So yeah, it could be. You could also go. Oh, but no, I think I remember what you're talking about. I can't. It wasn't Tom Wood. I think it was Echo Chernick. They offer a course you can take to learn how to. Well, they're professional illustrators. That's what they do for a living.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Tom Wood does too, doesn't he? He does some.
Yeah, that's what Tom. That's all they do for a living. Oh wait, I hear it now.
Here we go.
The darkness of space stretching out before him. He had spent countless hours staring into the void, contemplating the injustices that had landed him in this forsaken place. The harsh, unforgiving space prison run by emotionless robots was similar to the space law that had decided his fate.
That's way better than Microsoft Sam.
Just a few years ago, Vin had
this is the bleeding edge. It's called 11 Labs. 11 Labs. This is the bleeding edge.
He had served honorably in the military, and after his discharge.
Next time, if you give me back next time, I'll make sure we can figure out like this speech synthesis here. I literally pulled something off of here, plugged it into here, and then when I hit generate, it's generating phenomenal voices. I don't know why it's not playing through.
It could be any damn thing. That's the funny part. It could be anything.
Mercury retrograde.
Carolyn. Yeah, I know. They had Microsoft Sam and they had Samantha, and in the old days you'd copy text and put it in, and it was like, oh my god, it was horrible.
Oh yeah,
it was horrible.
Well, if you've seen any of those YouTube videos of like the Galactic Federation and the Anunnaki, they have these really poor synthetic voices that it's just you can't listen to it.
What's that, Denise? No, John's not on tonight because he's in Tampa, Florida. They at the whatever it is, Tampa Con, something con. I don't know. It's one of the Comic Con things. Yeah, it's I don't remember the name of it. No, they always do a great job. It's the same gentleman who owns FanX owns it. Yes. Well, I haven't been to it, so I don't know. I'd like to go, but I don't know. Well, Tampa's not all that far from. Oh no! I know where you're going. Never mind. We're not going there.
It's like an 18-hour drive for me.
It's 7 hours for me, so it's like around the block.
Yeah, you're a little closer. It's a straight shot almost.
Yeah, it's
Let me show you some more stuff.
I don't like staying at people's homes. How's that? I don't. I feel like I'm imposing. I don't care how rich they are. I still feel like I'm imposing. Mm-hmm. No, it's just a thing. What do you mean? Oh. Well, you have. So Jeff, Robert was saying you should do a course on this.
Oh, yeah, maybe you should. That.
Hey.
Let me. Well, we got the opportunity to show more stuff. Let's do it.
Yeah, go ahead. We got plenty of time. We got 38 minutes. So go away, baby. Show away.
Are you all familiar with what a landing page is?
Yes, sort of, kind of.
A landing page is where you basically deliver web traffic through every way you can, and it sells. It's a single page that sells in this case, it's selling books, and you get to, this is it's a landing. It's basically one product that you're selling. And it's called a landing page. It's part of a funnel. Generally they call sales funnels or a lead funnel in order to get people. In this case, the first book in the series is free, and because the objective is to build a mailing list. If you have a mailing list, you can keep selling stuff. If you don't have a mailing list, and then it's tougher every time you got to resell. So that's the landing page. And the reason that's important is because this over here, this is Chat GPT. If you're not familiar with Chat GPT, you should be. It's pretty revolutionary. And so what I typed down here is, I want a landing page to sell my books. The landing page should have all the elements that are standard. Okay, because I'm taking the position that I have no idea what's supposed to go on a landing page, but I'm told I need one. So okay, what do I need? So now I put it in the Chat GPT, and it tells me, okay, well, the first thing you need is a header, and here's what the header should include: logo, tagline, hero section, give us a book overview, author bio, testimonials, what's called a CTA, call to action. Here is what all the elements of a landing page are. And for someone that if someone says you need it and you don't know how to do it, now you know what you need. Now it's broken down. Okay, I need a book overview. Okay, I need an author. I need a testimonial, which means third party. Someone saying it's a good book, kind of thing. I need a call to action, which would be, is that something I'm going to give away for free to give them to give them to get them on the mailing list, or is it going to be maybe a discount on something, right? But so here, this is now all of a sudden it's very tangible. It's like, this is super tangible. You can do it now because you know what to do, and that's because you entered it in, and that's so we haven't even discussed it. We haven't discussed at all what this stuff can do from AI can do from a marketing point of view.
Oh, Jesus.
So from a marketing point of view,
hence where everybody's going to start whining right here. I've already heard people, friends of mine that are in advertisement, already bitching about this stuff. Oh man, it's gonna put us out of business, and that's gonna make your life easier. You're still gonna have to hire all these people, but it's gonna be better now.
Can you read this, or is it too small?
It's too small. But
let me
wait. Hold on. Let me blow up my whole screen. That made it a little bit better.
Hold on. Let me just reshare.
Jay, don't be putting them sexy glasses on, baby. You gotta quit that now. You can't be having that kind of behavior on the show.
How about now? How about this time? Now just the screen. Is this any better, Joe?
Wait, I haven't seen it come up yet. Hold on. Do I have to? Oh, I must have to put it up. Hold on a second. Add the screen. Pop the screen open. Let me see.
Yeah, it's a little better.
Yeah, that is a little better. Once I make it full screen, I can see it better.
Okay, so here's what I put in. This is real, by the way. I just went back my history. Said I've written a science fiction book series, and I have a good sized mailing list to sell, but I don't know how to make the sales pipeline, or in other words, ongoing marketing campaign or engagement to help keep people engaged. What ideas do you have? So this is what it came back: segment your mailing list, develop a content schedule, personalize your content, call to action, feedback, set up autoresponders. And then I said, well, that's too generic. I mean, I don't need, I need specific. I know what the hell I'm doing, not just don't give me a broad. And so I said, that's too generic. I'll say, well, okay, then let's get a step-by-step. A welcome email, introduction to your world, character spotlights, book extracts, behind the scenes, release announcements, reader engagements, offers. Like, that's tangible shit you can write. Like, those are, like, that's tangible. Like, specifically what you can do with that. And then I ratcheted down and started asking about have a tendency to get technical. I wonder if that consistency, if that is consistent with my audience, for example, and I went in to talk about it, asking whether or not, if I get too technical, my audience, what does it think? If you're going to get technical, then you have educational content to put out. You have maybe turn into blog posts, affiliations, whatever, right? So this is like real. This is real. Really use this.
So where are these answers coming from? Are these coming from a computer or an AI, or
this is ChatGPT? You don't. Right. If you don't know what ChatGPT is, you should. I'll restart. So we'll start from scratch. I'm going to take this very first thing I've written a science fiction book series. I'll start again from scratch, and I'll paste it in here. And everything's been coming out now is coming out through the ChatGPT, which is a large language model AI. It's not. Yeah. There's a large language model AI.
That's fast.
It's given us the demographic. It's given us a calendar, a weekly calendar for the emails. It's giving me email types and content. So from a marketing point of view, like for a book, for people that are trying to want to sell their creative, again, in my humble opinion, but if you don't go charging after these technologies, whether it enables you to create visuals and help you to sell your book, whether it enables you, for example, if creating an audiobook is it costs you all of $20 because you need to buy the software for a month, and you can give away that audiobook if someone buys your book, or you can sell the audiobook for $1.99 instead of $8, and because it costs you $20 and you don't have to pay a royalty to anybody. Well, and then on top of that, you can ask and come up with different types of marketing campaigns and how to market your books by charging after this stuff. It expands your capability. It takes your creative and it explodes what you can do by giving you abilities to do things you couldn't do before. So rather than seeing it as something that's like caving in, it's going to take away my creative, it's going to take the writers, it's going to okay, all right, okay, you could look at it that way, and that's okay. But I would try to argue and illustrate that you're better to look at it from a perspective of adding to your worlds, creating more with your worlds, and being able to giving you things that you might not otherwise, be able to have.
It also gives you the business sense to how to market your book with this GPT program. That's pretty cool.
We've done one of the other things that this was really bleeding edge, but for the sake of discussion, there was a thing. You guys remember text adventure games?
Wait, say it again. You broke up right and Jay started coughing. I couldn't hear you.
Text adventure games.
I do kind of remember text adventure games.
You basically go. It would be text and it would say you are in a forest. Yes. It say look left.
By the way, I'm embarrassed to say yes there.
So, we've been able to create text adventure games out of the author's work. So creating a text adventure game from you have this particular story about ore mining on the belt between Mars and Jupiter, blah, blah, blah. So, but the text adventure is you're a contract miner inside of a cave, and all of a sudden the lights go out and you have to find your way out. And so you have to go look up, look down. Since there's no gravity, there's no lights, you have to try to figure out how to turn on a light and then which way to go. And then there's multiple tunnels, and which tunnel do you take? It's a germination of being able to take that text adventure and then flip it to text, flip each of the scenes into text to image. So now with each time you enter something, you would be getting a new image that would correspond to what you're doing, and then text, and then of course text to video. And next time we get together, I'll show you how the text to video works. So this is a path that's happening, like it's evolving, like literally right now. This text to using AI to create text adventure games out of an author's own content is pretty fucking bleeding edge, okay, right? But it's coming. Like if I can do it, it's coming. And now the other steps will follow on behind it. But I guess my argument is that if you're a storyteller and a world builder and you a writer, then you should be able to flesh out your role with as many interesting ways to tell your story, show your story, get people engaged with your story as possible. And these new tools can provide that to you and provide that to everybody. So whereas prior to these tools, you're the craft of writing, and I'm not diminishing, and I'm not, it's going to piss off a lot of people, but I don't mean to. The craft of writing was something that held them back because the grammar, because of the copywriting, because of all the rules, and it's like it's a lot, but if you write the story, for example, in an outline format, and you outline chapter by chapter what each happening with each character, and because you know what you're doing, and you know how you want your story to go, you take that outline and you put it in to an AI and have it write in your voice. It's your work. It's your story. It's just the machine assembling it in your words and getting it done for you.
Yeah, you've just plugged in the parameters it needs to follow.
Yeah. So for people that had, like, have you ever heard, like, someone says, everybody has a novel in them? Like, you could do it now. You could do it and build your world. So
it's reminiscent of the movie Tron. Do you all remember the movie Tron?
Never heard
all
of
the
it.
characters in the real
Never
world, all the
it,
programs
man.
they programmed in the computer world have their faces. So it's like, they made this program to be an autonomous thing in the computer, but it's still their work, and it shows by the whose face is in the character inside the computer. So that's very cool.
I'm with you, Veronica. Who's this Tron person? I've never heard of. Jay's probably making this person up, man.
Nope. 1980 Tron, Jeff Bridges, Bruce Boxleitner. Look it up. Good movie. Walt Disney.
I remember it.
Bruce became a better actor when he got into Babylon 5 because he sucked at Tron. No, Tron was. I enjoyed Tron, both of them. I watched the new one and the old one. Yeah,
the second one's pretty good.
Yeah, I watched both of them. It's no, people, you had to be blind not to know about Tron. It'd be like, have you ever heard of Avatar? No, really? What planet are you living on?
Let me show you a couple other things that this can do. If you have, as you're doing book marketing, if you write a book, it's sometimes going to be a challenge to actually try to get some kind of, step away from it far enough to be able to create a synopsis or even a summary, bullet point summary, or if you were asked to do a TV treatment on it, it's difficult sometimes to step away from it and be able to get that perspective. If you load your book in and then you ask the AI to create a synopsis, summary, or otherwise, it will do it. Now, it may suck, and you may ask it to do it 5 times, but from that 5 times, you pull out what you want and assemble it, and now it's done. Like before, you just couldn't do it at all, but now it's done. So if I take this book here and I say, write me a summary.
So you could probably do the same thing as with an author buyer without like coming off as some sort of arrogant ass. Have the computer do it for you.
For sure. I loaded my LinkedIn and I told it to rewrite it. It did a way better job. It did a way better job on my LinkedIn than I had. Like, so here's, I asked it to do a summary, right? Here, do a summary. What are the key characters?
What was this?
Protagonist, antagonist, supporting character. I mean, Oops.
Sexy beast man named John Goodwin. I'm doing one with John in it. He's gonna shoot my ass. Oh man, I'm bringing it with me, and I'm bringing it with me this year when we go to whatchamacallit. Carolyn, no, it's writersfuture.com. Yes, you want to go submit something, or you want to join or learn school, that's where you go. Well, no, we're trying to talk Jeff into starting a course for you people who don't have not a clue what we've been talking about all night. I've been watching the chat, and I know there's a wide range of ages in this chat, and only about a third of y'all even have a clue what we're talking about. No, I like it. You okay? Just educate yourself on it. That's all I'm telling you. This is useful tools for just everyday people, yes, and it can be useful tools for everyday people that can turn you into something great. So.
Yeah, for the unpublished artist, for the unpublished writer,
but it's more than that. It's like 20 years of school wrapped up in a software. All software are easily learnable. You just take your time with them. Some software is overpowered. Go ahead, Jeff.
The AI, instead of you should look at it as an enabler. It's a super tool. It's like if you were building a house and you didn't have a saw, you had to use, I don't know, how would you cut the wood? And now you have a skill saw and you can rip through it and you can make a house in no time, right? So these are just tools, and if you kind of go at it saying, how do I use this tool, then and without fear, and or trepidation regarding anything, just like, what can this do for me? How about some excitement? How about some optimism? How can this make me better? How can I get more stuff done? How can I flesh out what else? What can I do with this? How can I apply the fundamental creative that I had in order that put me into maybe an illustrator of the future or whatever the hell it might have been?
I would write me some laser eyes and cut the wood in half. I'm just saying. That's how I would do it. No, what gorgeous Georgia? Who are you and where are you from? Georgia. I'm assuming you're from Georgia. I'm just saying. So what do you guys for us? So wait, what do you want to make? So I don't know. This might be a little sophisticated for banners. I mean, you can use it for banners, but there's lots of banner makers out there like PicMonkey and stuff. Yeah, that's what they do. They're just banner makers. What we're playing with here is a little bit more sophisticated than and they have paid versions and they have free versions. Of course, the paid versions are always going to be better than the free versions. Well, most of the time. I shouldn't say always, but I would get it and play with it. I mean, if you got a decent computer and a decent connection, you can just sit there and, like he's doing right now, and just play with it and play with it and play with it. And you're going to learn stuff. It's going to learn stuff. Everybody's going to learn stuff. Remember, it's AI, so it's learning as it goes.
Yeah.
Right.
Go to the Chat GPT is free. The 3.5 version is free. That's
there you go.
It's on Android. You go to OpenAI on the web, or you can download it from the App Store, from the Apple App Store, and just start messing around. Just start talking to it. The difference is this is conversational. And when you realize that you're having a conversation with the AI, you're talking to it, it's like pretty much understanding almost everything you're saying, and replying in a manner that it makes sense and is consistent with what your thought pattern was and what you were trying to discuss. Then your mind starts like going nuts, like, holy crap, really?
Because there's just so much stuff, and it's like any of these new softwares when you first get them. Just so much you have to learn, but once you learn how to use them, they're just they all turn out to have great tools in the long run. What do you mean you can't find it? What are you talking about it? What are you trying to download it on? Where are you at? OpenAI? Just look around if that's where you are. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure somebody on this is down
GBT or GPT?
Go to OpenAI.com.
That's where you are. You're on Open. Well, I don't know. Hold on. Let me pop over there and see if I see where you can download it at. Like I wasn't already doing something.
If you're on the web, you don't need to download anything because it's browser based.
Oh, well, see, there you go. Look at that.
It's in Android or the Google Play Store.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is web based. So like this is the developer portal that I use, but the whole thing is web based. It's not. This is not an app. You get an app for your iPhone or for your Android, but otherwise it's web based.
Wait, where's that? No, there are other things there as well. Yeah, just play around, see what's on the site. Look around. Don't be scared, especially when it's free stuff. You know, Carlene. I thought about this a while back, and then I didn't think about it again. So, if they develop real AI, there won't really be a need for sophisticated virus software for computers anymore, because AI would be able to block it. It would recognize it as for what it was and just block it from your computer. I would imagine the very next operating system we see will be an intuitive operating system. Yes, it may not be complete AI, but it's going to be intuitive at the very least. Windows 11 is junk.
You're right about that. When Microsoft invested $10 billion into OpenAI, and they're integrating it across the entire all of the Office suites, and it's just a question of time before it's on the desktop as a part of things.
I would imagine. I don't know. Last I had heard, it was slated 3 to 5 years for the next program. But guys, I'm just telling y'all, keep an eye out. Eventually, you'll see it. Actually, you probably won't even see it. You'll just be told it's there, and you'll start using. You think, well, remember. For a lot of people, if you don't have to use your keyboards anymore. You can get touchscreens if you want, but you can do everything by voice now if you want to.
Yeah.
So like my Roku, I use my remote. It's got voice on. I just tell them what I want it to do. My problem is when I'm talking to anything, I have such a thick Couillon accent that sometimes it's like, what are you saying, Joe? So when I first got Dragon, Naturally Speaking, I had to read 3 different novels to it so I could figure out it knew what I was saying. Yes. And then it actually knew what I was saying quite well. I can tell it stuff. Even now I can tell it stuff it knows what I'm saying. Yes. But before that it was getting every other word. And then just words you got to add, things like UFOs, extraterrestrials, just words that are not normally. Yes, you have to add all that stuff. But now it's going to be much better. Now we have we have the universal translator. Did y'all know? I think it's got 26 or 28 languages in it now. You can buy and put it on your lapel. And I think you're in Star Trek.
Yeah.
No, they're legit.
They're not expensive either. They're not. $100.
They're legit. They work pretty good. If you like to travel, there you go. Yeah, it's a different world. It's a different world. It's going to get everything's going to get smaller and more intelligent. Pretty soon, they've already got smart homes. My house is 50-50 smart home. I'm getting ready to install cameras on it this weekend. But, I won't put a smart AC in, a smart thermometer, whatever the hell you call it, thermostat in, because they're a little witchy, glitchy kind of things. Mm-hmm. So no, there's lots of these AI. So I don't know. You'd have to ask Jeff. Just what's the best creative AI software for a beginner? Or if you got any particular ones you'd recommend? I don't know, people. I don't use it yet.
What's the
So what do you?
For what? For what?
Yeah, for what? Okay, so what are you talking about? For artwork? So you want to be for text to art? Is that what you're talking? So he wants to be able to tell it. He wants to give it an idea of what the image he wants and have it develop most of the image.
Midjourney.
Okay, y'all heard that? Say it again, because I don't think they heard you.
Midjourney.
So there y'all go. Midjourney. Yeah, go check it out. Well, he had told me one time about the one for writing, because we actually used it on the last show. The Arthur one, we actually used on the last show.
Pseudo write.
Yeah. So there's so much. All I can tell you, people, get out there and use it. Don't be scared. This is not something where you're going to get a virus from on your computer. No, I've seen those comments. I'll probably get. Oh, excuse me, guys. Damn, I apologize. I don't know where that came from.
It's late.
Yeah, I get. And I just drank. My wife made me super coffee. No. You can't be scared. You got to get out there and use it. Oh, they're going to be contests in the future for this. Oh yeah, you can bet your ass. Well, a lot of contests are not going to allow AI, but there's going to be contests just for illustrators who develop through AI or authors who develop through AI. You can bet your ass on it's coming. It's going to get too big. They're not going to have a choice. Hell, I might make one myself just so I can make some money. Mm-hmm. Just something to think about, people.
One more thing. How much time we got? A couple of minutes. I'm going to show you one more thing.
We got 22 minutes, baby.
All right,
well, I'm sorry. We got 17 minutes.
This stuff here is this is literally bleeding edge stuff. I'll show you.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you bring it up.
Oh, hold on. I'll bring it up. Give me 1 second. I went on the same page, which I just popped over to a different page. Okay, pop back over yonder. Pop back over yonder. There you go.
So far we've gone. Train them with your own voice, and then write an outline, and then write a book. Take the book, and pull your text descriptions out, and be able to make images, graphic novels, illustrated fiction. Take your text and be able to make a book out of it, an audio book out of it. Now, this is what's next, and this level is now not maybe. This is
holy cow,
4 weeks old, maybe a little bit older than that. I mean, this is the bloody bleeding edge. This is text to video.
Wow, this is going to be freaking fabulous.
This is text to video.
I got some ideas I can use for this already, and it's just going to get better.
Yeah, like I said,
that's
this
a computer generated Panda.
Yeah, Panda looked really good. The lion's face was a little screwy. They and that's what I'm saying. The more they develop, the realer it'll get. Until you can't tell the difference.
Barbie building a nuclear bomb.
Go Barbie, go. Go Barbie,
with a
go.
pink cloud.
All right. Oh, now we're going to have pink across the messenger. I'm not going to see Barbie, people. I'm sorry. What do you mean? Will I watch it when it gets in my house? Only if one of the grandkids are here. Okay. I'm not. Okay. No, if you want me to confess, I did play with Barbies when I was young because I had a sister.
Mm-hmm. This is mind-boggling capability, or someone with a creative mind that has a visual or wants to build a world. To say, all he did is, I need an explosion, I need a gathering storm, I need volcanoes erupting.
You know, I was thinking about this. So they used to have that game, but they probably still have that game out there. What is it, Civ's World or whatever it is, where they. So now they could take this along with the building of the world itself and use this kind of graphics into the game. Oh my God, it would be freaking fabulous.
Well, imagine you're a book writer or a writer, and you already have this shit in your, pardon my language, you already have your stuff in your head. Now you write the text. I need this airship flying through the mountains with a dragon chasing after me and whatever, right? And then it makes it. And then you go to your next scene, and you go to your next scene.
So we're going to start seeing pre-made movies and pre-made books coming out of this, or short video clips and stuff. Reels are a big famous thing now. And one of the things I'm nice about, because some of the software we use today, standard software we use today, allows us to make 5 to 15 minute reels with just a clip, with just an edit clip, real easy. This is going to make it even better because I won't even have to do the edit clip. I can just describe the part of the show I was talking about and let it make it, and then post it to wherever, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, or wherever we're going to put it, or probably all of them. This is going to be really cool stuff, and I like to do this kind of. When I have free time, I like to create. I just don't get that much free time anymore. But sooner or later, the station will be back making the kind of money I can go back to let my son have the other business. Oh, no, people. Oh, no, people. No, we're not going there. And my construction company's there so that I don't starve to death. All right. Yes. No, let me tell you what, before getting COVID, okay, I was sitting pretty. I had a good bit of money in the bank, but 2.5 years of no working and sitting on your ass with COVID, and just no, and I have bills. When you're making good money, you have bills. Life's a bitch sometimes. So can't get rid of the other with business. And, yeah, it is. Oh, if you feel sorry for me, you can go right over to United Public Radio and uprn.com and make a donation. Station ain't cheap. We have paid slots. Whoever asked that question, we do have paid slots. Starting as cheap as, I think there's 150 now. They used to be 100. Hey, look, I'm not an inflation guy. Talk to Joe Biden about that. Oh, and by the way, in case y'all didn't know this, Jeff is Joe Biden's stepson. I just thought I'd tell y'all that. So if y'all out there in Vegas, I'm just telling y'all what's going on. He might be as illiterate, I don't know. Anyway, Jeff's like, I thought we were friends, man.
There's a lot of things I like, and there's a lot of things some things I don't like, and he's not on my favorite list.
No, he's not. Well, no, what do you mean picking on him? Oh no, he hangs out with Todd McCaffrey. He's got to be used to being picked on. Oh my God, Todd's at least as bad as I am, if not worse. Oh, Todd's great to hang out with. Oh yeah, when we went to the gala together, he was all in his blue tux, man. He looked shad, man. Oh yeah, he's fun. He's fun to talk to. Mm-hmm. Oh well, I watched him and Leslie Dean Smith discuss which is the better way to do things. Well, no, they don't always get along. No, it wasn't a mean fight or anything. They just disagreed on some things. And I've seen Jody Lanai and Coke Man. Tim Powers. Discuss that they don't always agree. Well, because when you're authors or illustrators, you may not always agree on certain techniques or certain things. You mean if I was an artist, I'd do oil, man. I love oil. I don't know what it is. It's I must have lived in one of the great oil times during the Renaissance or something. Oh man,
oils are fun. I like gouache. It's a watercolor. It's very vibrant color.
I wanted to see the redhead. I didn't know it was in my town at the time, Van Gogh. And somebody said, "Well, you missed it." I said, "Why didn't somebody tell me?" It wasn't even on TV. They just had it in the museum, and I was like, "Man, I would have loved to go see that."
That would have been a cool show.
Yeah, it's good art. I don't know where it's at now, Gene. Yes, I said that earlier. No, but if you can go get the book at galaxypress.com or
Hi, I'm Stoic Young.
writertothefuture.com if you want to join and become a member or submit something or take the free course. Yeah, galaxypress.com if you want to buy something. Yes.
Yeah, or you can go the easy way and submit some artwork or a story, and then you get the book for free because you're in it.
What's that, Don? Oh no, you talked about last time he was on. No, it was like a comic book. No, he kind of made a comic book while we were live. Yeah, sort of. Well, I don't know if he would have that now. That was like a year ago. Jeff's got a fan club going on over here, man.
Yay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. He said, now, ladies, if you'd like to take in gambling at Caesars, the all-exclusive Hollywood, honeymoon package, he said he would much appreciate it. Yes. No marriages. We're not talking about that now. Get it. See, there you go.
Wow.
So this is a headshot from AI headshot put into a different program and animated.
My name is Stoic123. Let me tell you.
I know you can't hear it.
No, we can hear it. We got it. We can hear it.
What is the function of the reel?
Audio is pretty good on it too.
My name is Stoic123. Let me tell you my deep story. Are you saying that? I cannot believe that. What is the function of the reel?
This is so. This is like a
That's
test.
smooth audio too.
My name is Belief version 3. I'd like you to know a little bit about my life. Many other.
Hi, I'm Stoically Born. Let me tell you my deep story. I am here to rescue you. I want to help. You are important and you are far more than you think.
We need what's his name on there? What's the? I can't think of his damn name. My memory's shot when it comes to names anymore. We need a voice featured after. What is his name? Black guy, older guy.
Let me tell you my deep story. Yes, no, as
Darth
it should
Vader?
be. This is just
Darth Vader. I am Darth Vader.
Is that
This
the
is an
actor you're
example
talking
how you-
about?
This is an example of you composite. Using Photoshop on this particular character in Photoshop, you can move using the tools that are available now. You can move like this is compositing, but moving the face around, like see the face changes in the all this stuff in here.
Mm-hmm.
You can add expressions to it.
So you can make the lips match the words that are coming out of it.
Well, for the ones that I showed you before, that's done automatically through what's called D-ID is the software package that does it. But from a graphic novel point of view, getting consistency on AI images is very challenging. So by loading this graphic, this guy in here, and then manipulating his face inside of Photoshop, I was able to get him to emote different. So my point is more of the same of try to use as many modern tools as you can, because if I had to repaint this face over and over again, it's just no way, right? So
I know it'd be a real pain in the ass, is what it would be.
yeah,
It's well, I mean, you just have to spend so much time on it, is what it come out being. Clown man. Jesse said, "Shit, y'all just woke me up." What
To
shame on
animate
you,
that
Jesse?
in regular old style, it would take forever. I mean, you'd have to have so many different gels, and you have to refer to the back to the pages before it to make sure you're getting the right movement. So that makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah, this 3D stuff here. This is actually 2.5D, but it's a good experiment if you're going to make this was before. Yeah, this is ancient history now, because now with text to video, you don't have to worry about 2.5D. You just make 3D. You just make movie trailers, but that was freaking bleeding edge 6 months ago. I promise you.
Oh no, that's the problem with these kind of technologies now. We used to always talk about it took us X amount of years, and then we got to about every 2.5 years to double our technology. And we're going to be doubling it every 2 months now. So I don't see the problem with all this is how ready are we? Because sooner or later AI is going to get a good bit ahead of us. So we're going to have to, what law? Eisenman's law. Wait, what you talking about? No, that's not the. I know what you're talking about, but that's not what it's called.
I have one comment regarding what you just said, Joe, which is just stay in your lane. You know what I'm saying? Like there's if you want to learn about books, just stay in the book lane. Because it's happening. There's so much happening everywhere. If you don't stay in your lane, and you're gonna get distracted by, now it's doing this and now it's doing that and now I can do this and now I can do that, and next thing you know, you're all over the place. But if you stay in your lane and say, I need to help me sell my books better. I need to I want to create more books. I want to create whatever it is that you're accomplishing, and then just strictly stay in your lane. Then it helps you stay, helps you stay focused on looking at all the stuff that's coming and sift it, because there's just too much. Like you're saying, it's just too much.
Yeah, there is. Well, no, sir. There's just too much of it to keep up with. I mean, if you got a team of people, maybe if you got a company or something where you can keep up with all this, but for an individual, it's going to be a lot. I mean, there's already a lot to keep up with, and for an individual, it's going to be even more. Well, no, I said this at the beginning of the show, and we're getting ready to close out, but I don't think you're going to see illustrators go away. I think you're going to see illustrators take a different role in the way illustrations are made and the way art's made. I think it's going to change. It's not that you're not going to still have conventional people doing painting and stuff like that. It's just going to be so a gaming company might hire you and say, "Okay, Jessica, you know what? We want you to come in here. This is what we're looking for this game. We want you to make sure that the AI is producing what we need." Because, an everyday person's not going to really understand art. You're not going to understand shading and shadows and stuff like that. So that would be that person's job. The difference is they won't need 10 illustrators anymore. They only will need 1 or 2. That's going to be the real difference. Well, life's changing. A lot of jobs. There's going to come a point in the near future that at least half of the planet is not going to be doing anything. There's just not going to be anything for them to do. So colonization is crucial. Elon, get your ass out there. Elon. Even though he's evil, I still Elon. Look, I know you, the guy from Moonraker. I understand that you the guy from Moonraker who is making a
Drax.
But I still love you, dude. I still love you. So, and, just be sure you take me with you, so I don't have to worry about this. Okay. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, people go watch James Bond movie. It's an old James Bond movie. It's called Moonraker. Go watch it, and you'll know what I'm talking about. No, I think Elon is brilliant. Yeah. I think not just that the man's got balls the size of Jeff's head. I mean, it's just like, what the hell, man? No, really. I mean, come on. This guy called up Putin and said, "Look, I will knock your nuclear weapons out of space with my freaking satellites." What kind of balls? I mean, he's lucky he's still freaking alive. Putin kills everybody. I mean, it's just, no, he did not. I'm serious. So Putin said he would use nukes, and he said, "No, you won't, because I've got like X amount of thousand satellites up there, and I'll just run them into your nukes and knock them out and make them go the other way." And he said, "I guarantee you I can build and launch satellites faster than you can build nukes, my friend." Mm-hmm. I was like, he basically put Putin in his place. And it gave Xi Jinping a thing like, "Oh, shit, mate, our nuclear weapons are not quite as important as they used to be." Like,
now we can knock them out with a satellite.
Man. Well, they just bump them because those satellites, people think they're little bitty. Them satellites actually quite
big. They're huge. They're bigger than
they'll
Volkswagen.
They'll just run right into it. I just thought that shit was too funny. See, now I could use this. Get me a little spaceship here. Take it for a little ride.
So when you're the person, whoever asked you about art and so on, that I wanted to show this in furtherance of that question, because this is a breakdown of how the image was made initially. And it's you still have to have the lighting and be able to know what you want to do, and and add all the indirects and all the rest of that stuff. It's still art.
And frankly, I think the illustrator is going to prefer this better because, let me see, is my mouse working? So he's not, or he or she is not going to have to do all these little dials, all these little dashes, all these little buttons, this little map over here. That's a lot of freaking work. I mean, doing each one, making it look right, doing the screens, doing the maps, so if the AI can create it and you can adjust it, I think, one, you're saving the company tons of money, which maybe we'll see in the future as a let over to us. And you're still getting the finished product.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if the concept art, like if someone's going to make something, concept art is a big deal. Like, what is this going to look like? I need different ideas. So to be able to take, a combination of CG or AI and CG elements and turn, this into that with this, the AI person here, and this switched out, and the guy put in the seat and the planet and the lighting and all the rest of that stuff. To be able to do that, to show a concept as a concept artist with the speed, your speed is like how you make money. Like if you're going to dick around, you're going to dick around. I'm like, you're going to. Well, anyways, you got money. That's what.
Well, and the application isn't just for movies, books, and comics and art. Like you said, concept art. This could revolutionize the car industry. I mean, how long does it take these guys to make a concept car for the next generation car for General Motors or Volvo or whatever? You can you can make this new car for the next generation, but not only can you do that, but you can show scale of how big the car is with, a scaled human being in the car, outside the car, standing by.
It needs to show my flying car now that we've actually now, people, in case y'all didn't notice, this is on the news side. They are making their first line of flying cars this year. They'll be available this 24. You'll be able to get your own personal flying car. Yes.
From who?
I don't know, but the government went ahead and green lighted it last week, and the company already have them, and there are companies already building them.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay. You know what they look like? They look like oversized drones. That's what they look like.
Yeah, but do they fold up into a suitcase like on the Jetsons?
No, but
this one actually, this one's really cool because the fans are it looks like a car body, but the actual fans or rotors are inside the body. So when it lifts up because the air comes through the body, and then the whole body shifts so that the fans are pulling it forward like an airplane. It's crazy. Oh my God, it's crazy.
It is.
Crazy.
Oh no, Janine, they got the one with the wheels. I don't know what's powering the wheels, but they got the one with the wheels because I don't know if the fans tilt and how the wheels are going to play. And no, the one Jeff and I are talking about don't have wheels.
It's,
the one
it's
you're
called
talking
vector
about
thrust,
wheels.
isn't it?
So but this is all just fans. I mean, this is drone technology, is what this is. Between lithium. Oh, and okay. Another piece of news before we put on the things and we let Jeff tell y'all good night. So if you love blue crabs, you're going to be upset. Because they found a way to make batteries from crabs.
No.
Oh, yes. And
They're
much
food.
better. And wait,
It's
much
food.
better than the lithium. They don't overheat like the lithium batteries we got today. They can go 400,000 charges without going bad. To the battery of the future. And they come from, I don't know, something to do with the blue crab. I was like, man, thank God I got my own pods in my own backyard so y'all can bite me. I'm not getting my blue crabs.
I hope
But
it's
Jeff,
yellow mustard they want from out inside the crab, because the crab is like my home state's like number one food.
Yeah.
That
So
stuff is awesome.
no, he don't live in New York. He lives in Pennsylvania.
I'm in Pennsylvania. I'm from Maryland. Maryland is the home of the blue crab and the crab feast. And
Yes, they do have a lot of crabs in Blue Mountain. But we got to go, Jeffrey. Tell them where they can find you, where you're going to be hiding at if you're going to be getting into any trouble. Just watch you, because they got some women in here looking for you, and I can't tell you what they look like, so you better be careful.
It depends on what you want to see. If you want to see the AI stuff, then the AI. My company, I have a company called AI Impact Partners, and that's for AI shit. And then if you want to see the art, then I have a thing called it's jwcreative.art. I guess I could put up the Instagram, and then if you want to go see if you want to see the digital, if you want to see the where all the comic books are, then you go to aicomicbook.com, and I think those are.
But there you go.
There's ArtStation. There's a bunch of other stuff, but those are kind of the top.
I noticed he didn't give out his Chippendales one, so I don't know what that was about. I see, ladies, y'all scared him. He would have gave it out if y'all wouldn't have scared him. Oh man, this shows this evil show. What can I tell y'all? We got to go, guys and girls. Though we are getting over the time. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. We will have Jeff back in the future. The AI thing. There's going to be several segments on this coming up over the next few months. We're going to talk more about what we talked about tonight and the software and how it works. We'll be bringing on talking about other just AI in general. What can we expect? Or our government stupid enough to give our nuclear weapons to the AIs? We already have drones that are running AIs that are flying with our jets now. I seen the new one with the new Project 4 jet. Oh no, these things are badass. They look like a thing. They are badass. And they are completely AI. The pilots can overtake the AI, but they are AI that's supposed to fly with the pilot as cover for the pilot against any other weaponry, so that the F-22 or the F-35 can kill the person without them ever being seen. So we're getting very sophisticated.
It's not the first automated drone either. We had drones on the SR-71 Blackbirds. The D-25 drones were autonomous. So
this is weird, guys. So what was that? I didn't hear you just say again.
That's fine. I'm just geeking out with the conversations. I'll go.
Yes, well, we can't help ourselves. This is a geek show. No, guys. So all of this stuff we talked about tonight, you can find. There's lots of places to find AI in general. If you have something no, Jeff and I actually had an agenda. We only got to like 10% of it. Now, if you go look on the description tonight's show, you'll see there's an agenda tonight. We only got we got through a lot of it, not enough. But go out, play with the stuff. Next time he's on, you can come in. Ask more questions about how this worked, how you like the software, how you've been playing, what have you learned, anything about stuff like that. Go have some fun with it. It's not going to blow up your computer. It's not going to make you pregnant or lose your hair or anything. So.
I'm not going to send a time traveling robot after you.
But I'm serious. Go check it out. Use it. Play with it. I'm a geek for any kind of new software. I can't help myself. I just can't help myself. But what I'll do is I'll end up putting it on one of the new computers. So while I'm resetting it up, I can be playing with it while I'm setting up the computer. Again, Janine, just use PicMonkey for making banners. This stuff is, fine. If you want to go allow this and make a banner out of it, you can. It'll make you a banner. But it just seems like overkill. I'm just saying, for one little banner, it just seems like overkill. That's all. I tell you what, if you're that desperate, catch me tomorrow, and I'll give you the code to our PicMonkey site, and you can go over there and make you a banner. Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, we keep them up there for our host anyway. I haven't thought about that. Maybe next time, Justin, we'll talk about it. It is something we have talked about, integrating some of this AI in with the station and with some of the hosts to help with a couple of different things that we got going on. Wait, who? That's not Jay. Jay's got a cat. What are you talking about? Jay's meowing. You freaks.
That's my cat.
Y'all people are freaks, man. I'm out of here.
The cat.
Good night, everybody. Here comes y'all's promos, and I will see all of y'all next Wednesday.
Thanks for your time. Pleasure meeting everybody.
Nice meeting you, Jeff. You're always great, man. You're always great to have on. People, enjoy the archive. And for anybody going to listen to the archive, again, most of the information you need is available in the archive for the night's show. So check it out. Have fun, and good night.
You are listening to UPRN, United Public Radio Network, coming to you live on 105.3 right up to 107.7 FM from the beautiful city of New Orleans. UPRNTalkRadio.com.
Looking for something new in sci-fi or fantasy? Check out what Brandon Sanderson, Orson Scott Card, Nnedi Okorafor, and others chose as the best news stories of the year in the L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future anthology from 24 award-winning authors and illustrators, plus art and writing tips and bonus stories. L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future. Buy your copy at galaxypress.com, Amazon, or wherever books are sold.
It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards, Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast, in 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. For 4 years, the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast has provided advice and tips from international best-selling authors, world-class artists, contest judges and winners, and industry professionals, based on the world-famous Writers of the Future contest created in 1983 by L. Ron Hubbard to help the aspiring writer and artist, no matter their age. It is dedicated to the future of storytelling and art by showing that it is never too late to start, and those who make it are those who never give up. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast in any or all of the 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art.
Hey there. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. There's an amazing show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. The News on the Flipside, in the category of politics and news. News on the Flipside is a much different news and political program which is not deemed as opinion news. Listen as Joe Montaldo brings to you just the facts from trusted sources, which will allow you, the people, to make up your own minds on the various stories being reported on. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate News on the Flipside in the category of politics and news. That's podcastawards.com, and please take a moment and do it now.
Cool show.
I know, man. It's